Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media. And you ain't got to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead, hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen some people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content now. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. Shout out to everyone here, y'all. Today we are doing an episode of what does foundational Black American patriotism look like in 2026, y'all? Yep. We probably gonna be doing this one every year, y'all. So what does the patriotism of FBA people look like? And look. This is not to discount other people who don't happen to be FBA. You guys' opinions are welcome too, as long as you're not a white supremacist, okay? Yeah, well, not matter of fact, even if you're a white supremacist, your opinion is welcome. Why? Because we need to know what's real out here in the real world. So anybody who wants to give their opinion, sure, bring it on. You got some input, bring it on. And we're going to really look and examine what does our patriotism look like in 2026. And I think I want to do this one every year, y'all. So, you know, it could change from year to year. Some things may stay the same. Some things may change, okay? But, yeah, we want everyone who has a viewpoint on this to get it in. Now, before we go too far into this, I'm going to say shout out to the people who give me views on a regular basis, because that's the fam. Shout out to the people who hit the like button. Y'all know that's important. Shout out to people who leave comments after the stream. And shout out to the people who hype me up every chance they get. Y'all are doing a fantastic job. That is how you help things grow around here. You help things grow and you're helping things be a better place. And shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty. The people who become financial supporters of the Roger Report Live, because y'all are the ones that allow me to do what I can do, get certain things done, and I can't do things the same way without y'all. Okay, y'all the ones holding it together. Okay, y'all are the ones holding it together. So shout out to everyone who's been a financial contributor over at the Roger Report Live, and we're gonna give a special shout out to my main man, the sponsor of today's stream, the one, the only, Gyogami. He is our sponsor of the stream. Shout out to Gyogami. Appreciate you, brother, big time. Appreciate you, brother, big time. Okay. And we gonna get into this one, y'all. We gonna get right into this. So what does patriotism look like for FBAs, man? We in 2026. All right. We in 2026. Now I was gonna go somewhere different today, but I called an audible. So yeah, everybody who if you was at the round table yesterday and I told y'all I was going to do a stream about such and such, I'll probably get that done by next week. But I called an audible, y'all. What does the patriotism look like for the FBAs? And if you're not an FBA and you want to, come up and give your version of patriotism, yeah, we want you here too. We want you here too. Patriotism, y'all. Now, I'm going to say, ain't one of the main things about patriotism is you have to have your set of values. Okay. You want to, put things out there so you can live your way of life, but you must defend these things from enemies that are foreign or domestic. You got to be able to defend this stuff from people who are foreign or domestic. Now, I'm going to say, real talk, I think when it comes to FBAs or maybe some other blacks, you might have a few more enemies because you'll have the same foreign. Well, maybe I ain't gonna even say that. You know what? Realistically, even when it comes to other countries, they ain't against the FBAs like that. It's countries that make it clear we ain't got no problem with the black man. I mean, they did it in Vietnam. Okay. Now, I don't know if you was lucky enough to know some people who was over in Vietnam, but boots on the ground said, I ain't gonna say the government said it. I don't know if I ever remember the government ever reporting this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can't necessarily remember one time that the American government reported it to the people. But the boots on the ground said that they were even playing messages telling the brothers, look, man, this ain't about you. This war ain't about you at all. We don't mean y'all no harm. Basically, they was being told they could step to the side on this one. Now, if you shooting at us, yeah, we're going to have to shoot back. But if you a brother, man, all you got to do is step to the side and it's all good. Okay? It's all good. Now, you know what? I got to say shout out to everybody who got to have that experience. It's nice to know that brothers went over to Vietnam and got a nice message. They going over there is, I'm pretty sure, is enough to know you finna go into a war zone situation. And then the people that you supposed to be fighting is sending you a message saying, look, brother, this ain't about you. We ain't really even trying to get into it with you. If you don't shoot at us, we ain't shooting at you. That's a pretty good message to hear from the people who are supposed to be your enemy. Okay. They supposed to be your enemy. Now, let's be realistic. The same brothers who heard that message, they came back to America and they heard a message too. They heard a message of, we don't really mess with y'all like that. That's what they heard. Okay, we don't really mess with y'all like that. Now, shout out to Compassion Kaz. He said there had to be a mind F, I ain't gonna curse on there, y'all, out of this world, laugh out loud. And I'm gonna say, you know what? It could have been. But according to people I've actually spoken with, didn't seem that it was. Didn't seem that it was. It seemed like if you was a black man, you just got a pass. Now, if you was fighting with these white guys, yeah, we got to shoot you too, because you've made yourself an enemy. But off GP, you're not an enemy. You can make yourself an enemy and fight with these white guys. Now, I don't know, maybe compassion it might mean it might have been a mind F to the white people that was there. I'm pretty sure it was a cause of concern. I'm definitely going to say that, okay? Because the white man got to hear the message too. Now, I'm going to say this. What did the white man go through when he heard them telling the black man, don't even worry about this when you good? It ain't you we after. Now, I'm going to say that probably caused some issues in command. Now, again, I don't believe America ever even publishes information. And I know a lot of y'all probably has heard that before by now. It could be the first time you're hearing this from a person, but I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have heard stories of this, because I know I ain't the only person they done told. So, yeah, it's a trip. Now I'm gonna say, y'all, as a black man, I accept America is my country. And I've said before, I love America. I might not love it the way other people want me to love it, but I do love it because it is my country. Okay? Yeah, we got a lot of problems over here, but it's the only country I got. So I do love my country. It makes sense for me to love my country. And I'm supposed to fight enemies that are foreign or domestic. Okay? Okay? Foreign or domestic. Shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable. He said FBA patriotism in 2026 isn't blind loyalty or rejection. It's conditional stewardship. It's about what Black Americans are willing to build, protect, reform, and withdraw from based on outcomes, not promises. Shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable. I mean, that's an excellent way to sum it up. That's just excellent. And that's real talk. Okay? And I want people to realize it's okay for you to be a patriot. Because as a Black American, okay, as a Black American, you could be just as patriotic as anybody else. Now, the thing is, can you accept? And this is what I think a lot of Black Americans gonna have to really learn to accept, especially FBAs, since we're the majority of Black Americans. We're going to have to learn to accept that our patriotism is very different than the white person's patriotism. And it's that simple at the end of the day. And it's a blessing for them that we like America. It is a blessing for them that we, as FBAs, are part of America. And it should be our goal to make sure that other Americans follow the role of FBA men. Because FBA men are clearly the best group of men in this country. Now, people may say, well, Raj, how you gonna say that? And don't get it twisted, y'all. I ain't dissing the non-FBA Black men, because they get lumped in certain categories here or there. But when they did a study to find out who the best fathers in America, who did it turn out to be? It should have been obvious to everybody, but I understand why it wasn't obvious to people. Oh, they found that it was Black men. I mean, my thinking was, duh. Who else was it gonna be? Now, I get it. Other people didn't realize that, because a lot of times people fall into, information. And I tell people on a regular basis, well, I definitely gonna make sure I'm saying it on a regular basis, learn how to accept information and stop worrying about the presentation. Okay? Information is more valuable than presentation. Now, presentation says Black men abandon their children. That's what presentation says. What does information say? White men abandon their children. If I go with presentation, I think Black men abandon their children. if I go with information, white men abandon their children. It's something they've been doing for hundreds and hundreds of years. When this country became the country that it was, they were already doing it. That's a regular practice for white men. Okay? It's a regular practice for white men. You know, even during slavery, they told you, but we didn't necessarily peep game. If you a white man, if you start messing with the slaves and have a baby, that baby wasn't for you to take care of. You were not that baby's father. It was just another slave. That means you literally abandon your child at the time of birth because your child belonged to a black woman. That's how they perceived it. So yeah, information, white men been abandoning their kids. Presentation, they say black men abandon their children. So, you got to take your pick on what you're going to really, stand with. Now, Chef Mike coming up. I'm going to let Chef Mike come up here a little bit early. I like to monologue a little. Or, no, hold on. My bad. Maybe he ain't coming up. My bad. Okay. Matter of fact, he is coming up. All right. Well, Chef Mike, I'm going to let you get in, do your thing early because, I like you, Chef Mike. You all right. Okay. You all right. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to find yourself on this thought-provoking Thursday. Roger, how you doing this morning, bro?
Doing fantastic, brother. Doing fantastic. Hope you're doing the same.
I am. I'm on this side of the grass and I can't complain. I wanted to jump up real quick because I do have something to do in a bit, but I did want to kind of give some more context and some more framing to the statement that I put in the chat. And I'm going to use this as my opening statement, and I'll stay up for as long as I can, but I do have to jump down. So, to answer the question that you've posed, what does foundational Black American patriotism look like in 2026? And it is just as I stated in the chat. Patriotism for FBA in 2026 isn't blind loyalty or rejection, it's conditional stewardship. It's about what Black Americans are willing to build, protect, reform, and withdraw from based on outcomes, not promises. See, patriotism, you have to see patriotism as accountability and not symbolism. Patriotism is not flag waving, it's not rituals, it's not rhetoric. It is the willingness to hold institutions to their stated obligations. FBA patriotism means voting with expectations, not hope, supporting policies with measurable benefits, withdrawing support when outcomes fail. See, loyalty without leverage is not patriotism, that's dependency. And it has to be a clear distinction between state and nation. FBA patriotism recognizes the nation includes Black Americans as a foundational people. The state is a set of systems that must earn legitimacy through protection, fairness, and reciprocity. Love for country does not equal to uncritical trust in government. See, patriotism here looks like demanding that the state work for its citizens, not ask permission to belong. The third thing you have to look at is material outcome over moral posturing. In 2026, patriotism is practical economic security, practical physical safety, practical educational access, practical legal parity. FBA patriotism measures progress in data, not narratives. If policies don't improve life on the ground, patriotism requires critique, not applause. I'll end my opening statement there.
I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And that's a one heck of an opening statement. Real talk. One heck of an opening statement. And shout out to my main man, Gold P. Gold P says money for the plate. Shout out to the Roger Report, Chef Mike, and to chat. Hit the like button. Trail Bentley and Shark Sims tax included. Keep winning, brothers. Hey, shout out to you, Gold P. Shout out to you. Always good to hear from you, brother. Always good to hear from you. Now, Chef Mike, I gotta excitedly agree with what you said. Because I do believe when it comes down to it, if we're not doing what we need to do to make the country better, then we're not being good stewards and we're definitely not being good patriots. And as I was saying earlier, I think it is our job to make other people see why they need to go along with what FBA men support. Now, for a long time, this country wanted us to support their different goals and dreams. I ain't saying nothing in particular, but I'm sure saying it. When it come down to it, a lot of people who are not FBA men have taken this country in poor directions. We believe in, well, the people who've been in leadership have believed that it is okay to destroy their own people. It is okay to be selfish with resources. It is okay to make rules for some and different rules for others. That's the track record. That ain't about the Roger Report. That's not an opinion. These are factual things that can be substantiated through light research. You don't even have to go heavy, just very light researching. You can figure all this stuff out. So when it comes down to it, who's been the right people to set the tone for this particular country? It's been FBA men. All right. Now, and y'all, I know there's a small echo. We're gonna do something about that in a minute, but don't let it distract you too much. You're gonna be all right. Matter of fact, I'm trying to do something about it now. Matter of fact, Chef Mike, appreciate that, brother. Now, this is the thing. As an FBA man, I watched the right leaders get our country into a better direction. And who did those guys happen to be? Seem to be other FBA men. Now, I know white folks and propaganda are trying to get y'all to turn your back on people like a MLK. Now, for whatever MLK did right or wrong, as a country, he got this country going in a much better direction. He got this country to at least recognize civil rights as something that needs to be done. We need to start treating the people of this country like they're citizens of the country. Now, I'm not going to tell y'all Dr. King, got all his plans done the way he wanted to before he got killed, because he didn't. But he did at least make the country recognize that they own some BS. And you can't be the head of a country and say you're pro that country while being anti the people of that country, because that just don't make sense. And you can't, what I'm saying? That's just a circle you can't square. But I'm going to slow down right now because we have another guest that has come up. So shout out to these names, y'all. This is his name, y'all. He picked it, though. Don't blame me. Shout out to Niggas Love America. You got the flow, my brother.
What's going on?
What's happening? What's happening, brother?
Is this Roger?
Yes, I already see what you're doing. Yes, it's me.
Oh, I want to make sure. Repeat the passcode 3 times.
We couldn't say it on air.
All right, okay. He's good today. He's good. He's all right today.
Well, you do one show. You do one show. One show about something. Well, one show. But go ahead.
I'm gonna say something. Patriotism is for poor people. Only the poor are required to be patriotic. Yeah, I know. They tell you, niggas, that y'all gotta be patriotic. Meanwhile, the so-called owners are doing all kinds of backdoor deals with other countries and screwing the citizens over, but they tell you that you got to be patriotic, right? Ain't that something? You got to be patriotic. Meanwhile, your leaders, they have all kinds of business with quote unquote enemies of the countries. You know, they are buying all kind of cheap tchotchkes from, you guess who? China. China. Yeah. They got all sorts of deals with them. All kinds of, I say, ways to screw you over, but you gotta stay put. You gotta stay patriotic. They have in deindustrialized your country in favor of cheaper labor, but they tell you that you still gotta be patriotic. Multi-billion are leaving the country to go elsewhere, but you still got to stay put. Yeah. They claim that the new ones, the quote unquote others, are taking your jobs. Meanwhile, you can't make a phone call for customer service without having to talk to a Punjabi. They claim that the others are taking your jobs. Meanwhile, they had plans, or they have started to deindustrialize America since the 70s. They've been slowly but surely removing those good paying jobs with great salaries and full medical dentals and good pensions. They have taken them away and sent them to elsewhere. But you gotta be patriotic, don't you know? You gotta love America because you're just a nigga. You ain't got billions of dollars to go invest elsewhere. You're a nigga, so you gotta be patriotic, right?
You know what? I'm gonna say that is a great opening statement, and it does show and deal with what other people's perception of how we should view patriotism, which is exactly why we need to have our own definition of what our patriotism look like. Because as long as you beat to the drum of somebody else, you'll never get it right, and that's just the way it's gonna go at the end of the day. So, you know, that's why this show is going to be about, what does patriotism look like for us, not the other person's definition, because the other person's definition is not designed to get you anywhere positive. And I want everybody to recognize that, because we can't say what he just said is wrong. That's kind of the projection they give to us. Why fall into that? It won't serve
Roger, can I jump in here real quick before
you.
Gold makes
Go
his
ahead, brother.
introduction?
Go.
Because I want
Yeah,
to say
if
something
we're gonna put
along.
Goldie on hold, sure, no problem.
I want to say something um, uh, along the lines of what NLA is saying. But I want to say it like this: FBA patriotism is a willingness to stay, reform, and shape. Okay, FBA patriotism has to reject the false choice between leave the country or accept mistreatment. And I understand what you mean, NLA. We have to change that narrative in our own minds and in our own language. The position should now be: we are here, we help build this, we intend to shape what comes next. Foundational Black American patriotism looks like responsibility without silence, loyalty with conditions, and participation without erasure. And I'll land my plane right there.
And I'm just gonna say real quickly, again, y'all, if you are a patriot, you're supposed to fight your enemies, foreign or domestic. And I'm gonna put a big emphasis on domestic. Okay, I'm gonna put a real big emphasis on domestic. All right. Now, Black Guru has come up, and because he has elder privilege, I'm gonna let him go next. But I'm gonna just use this as a quick little time to just simply tease Gold P because I don't really mean it. Yeah, we're gonna have to make you wait again, brother. We're gonna have to make you wait again. And I'm Black Guru. I'm gonna ask you to not let him go first. That's what I'm gonna do. Cause see, I know you a gentleman.
No,
You'll be like, well, let me go and let Gold
well,
P
no,
go. Don't do that,
I
man.
don't like. I don't want to cause problems. I don't want to cause problems for Gold P. I mean, Gold P, you definitely, at least from my perspective, welcome to go ahead of me. I don't like to hold. I don't like to hold brothers up because, especially because sometimes I can start to ramble or be a little lengthy. So I am going to insist on allowing Gold P to go.
Yeah, y'all see how they do me right here. Y'all see how they do me. Gold P, I guess you got it, brother. I guess you got it.
You see, you see, I come in. Let me do this correctly. First, my first minute. Shout out to the Roger Report. Hit that like button, support the channel. Pay those taxes, those Trail Bentley and Shark Sim tax, which I did. I make it a point to say that. Now the second part, Roger, you make it a point. Why? What I do to you, Roger? I'm always supportive. I go to the replays. I'm patriotic, brother. I'm very patriotic, man. But no, you want to make it a point to tell Black Guru, who was definitely respectful, to just forget Gold P. You know what? We ain't trying to hear Gold P. I'm just saying. All right. Now, with that being said, I am a soldier. I am a soldier. I joined the United States Army military, and shout out to all my service members, veterans. Chef Mike, shout out to you, brother, especially. Shout out to all the veterans, and we have made it a point to say, hey, we are in charge. To your point, Roger, we are in charge of defending the country, foreign and or domestic. That's what we signed up for. That is what it is. We are about that work. Okay. And to be foundational in the essence of that means brothers have been about this country just like everybody else. In fact, in front of a lot of people who are so-called Johnny come latelys, let's say. And we have made it a point to say, hey, we've been in all the wars. We've been in, we've had to battle everybody. We've had to battle everybody. People. I mean, okay, I can go on. I know I have to let everybody else, get in. But I just wanted to say, hey, look, as a soldier, thank you for my people who serve this country just as much as anybody else, especially the black man. Remember, historically speaking, they used to put that strange fruit was those people in service uniforms as well, those brothers who were in service uniforms hanging from that tree. That hit different, man. All right. There's nobody more patriotic than the brothers. I can tell you that now. And I'll land my plane right there.
All right. And I'm gonna say shout out to you, Gold P. Great sentiment, and shout out to No Place Soda. He said, "Let Gold P go, Uru. Otherwise, 30-minute sideshow." Now, we not doing that no more, y'all. Me and Gold P, we play a little bit, but we not gonna let it take away too much attention from the show. Gold P know he good with me. He know that. That's my guy right there. That's my guy. Shout out to Compassion Encounters. I want to second this motion because I meant to say this earlier myself, but he said shout out to all Black vets, our warrior class. And I'm going to agree with that and say, yeah, shout out to every particular veteran, because that's just extra patriotism, because you can be a patriot and not necessarily be in the military. When you decide to do what you got to do to go to the military, and I don't care why you went, because I do believe most guys go over financial choices, but at the end of the day, you still have to work within that military system. So shout out to every brother who's willing to do what they got to do to make this country a little bit better for the rest of us. And that's why I'm definitely going to emphasize, as Black men, if you are truly a patriot, you must understand you got to fight enemies, foreign or domestic. And more than likely, your enemies are going to be more domestic than foreign. That's
Roger,
just
real
how
quick.
the chance is going to go. Go ahead, brother.
Quick, Roger. It is foreign and.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Good catch.
Sometimes we're on both sides of the field. We have to fight foreign and come back to fight domestically. I just want to put that out there.
No, good catch, brother. Good catch. And because that's what we need to really think about. So, people want you to be patriots by falling into certain narratives. That's not our job. I'm going to say I'm proud of every Black man who didn't fall for the narrative of, I'm going to say, Kamala Harris. Now, me personally, I was a very anti-Kamala Harris person, and I still am. Okay? If we get a Black woman president, we could do so much better than the first one being somebody like Kamala Harris. We could do much better than that. But there was a narrative, but as Black men, you're supposed to do this just cause. That's not patriotism. Patriotism is I'm going to do what I can so my country can get the best that it can. And for you to say, well, no, I ain't voting for her because she's not the best we can get, I got to say I applaud every single one of you. Not that I was pro-Trump. I'm just saying I applaud the fact that there was more Black men who won't accept something just because it's a narrative, and you're looking at what is best for me in my country. That's a good thing. I'm going to say shout out to all the people who are not trying to make these ICE situations a bigger deal than what it needs to be. That's not something for us to say, hey, we need y'all to do it this way or that way. For the people who've made videos about folks trying to beg them to get involved, they saying, well, no, we reject that notion. Now, some of them got some kind of off reasoning behind it, but I'm still glad that they're rejecting the notion that everything is for quote unquote Black people to do, which is really mean Black men. Everything's for Black men to really go fight, even though we won't benefit from the fight. That's patriotism at the end of the day. We are a group of people. Some folks would say you a nation that's within a nation. However you interpret this stuff, my thing is true patriotism is helping this country move in the direction of the vast majority of FBA men, because that's what's good for the country. Our leadership doesn't show great morals. You can say they've had some progress over the things they've done, and I'm not going to say they haven't. As a country, America does kill, steal, and destroy. A lot of people say a lot of things about America that don't live over here. America ain't quote unquote well liked in a lot of places in the world, and there's reasoning behind it, and it's because of things that our leadership has done. We have to accept that our leadership has done some things that they probably should not have done. But at the end of the day, to help this country be the best country it can, it has to be more like FBA men. If the nation moved like FBA men, this is just automatically a better country. There's nothing wrong with defending what you have, but attacking people without legitimacy, FBA men don't do that. Think about it. Protecting people who don't have the ability to protect themselves, that's something FBA men do. Nothing wrong with that. when we set out to do something, we set ourselves out to do things that are good for people in general. Now, what if our leadership moved like that? That would be fantastic. So I'm saying, America needs to be more like FBA men. And I know this is a thought that people don't really think about per se, but it's the only thing that makes sense. We done had hundreds of years. We know what this country looks like at this particular point. And the country that we have now, the way we have it now, has been established in 1776. Okay? You had 200 years go past in 1976. The only problem with this country, it don't look enough like FBA men. So to me, patriotism is leading this country to be more like us. That's what I believe one of the true great goals of patriotism should be in this particular country. And I'm going to let the mic go because the champ has come up and I'm going to go ahead and let him get it. What's going on, champ?
Oh, no, sir, Roger. No, sir. No, sir. Black
Guru
has not made his opening statement because you grabbed the mic and you forgot about Black Guru.
Yeah.
So please
my bad. You're right. You're right.
First, I was surprised.
You're right. You're right.
Roger,
Black Guru, you got it, bro.
Take Roger suit.
I'm not gonna respond. Black Guru, just go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna let Champ go.
You sure?
I'm gonna let Champ go. Yeah, because I have thoughts about this that may take things in a different direction. And I would rather you have a chance to speak your piece.
Okay.
Before I do that.
Okay, then well, thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I hope you all are having a really good Thursday and everything else. Happy Black History Month. This is Black History Month here in February. And what I have right here is my avatar are Black men who served in the Union during the Civil War. And the question is, can FBAs be patriots? And the answer is yes. We've always been patriotic. We've defended our country despite tremendous obstacles through slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, segregation, economic segregation that we've currently going through right now. We've been the most patriotic, gifted people on the planet Earth. And I'm talking about FBAs because we basically have invented stuff. We talk about Black History Month. We talk about some of the great innovators from people like George Washington Carver, Grantville, other great Black inventors in the past. I can't name them off the top of my head and everything else, but without these great Black men and women who invented, whether it's machines, engines, cars, transportation, the traffic lights that we've invented, the rail system that we did. Without those, America wouldn't be functioning right now. And that's showing patriotism when we build through the ground up despite tremendous obstacles, as I just said earlier. So that's my take of patriotism and everything else. Excuse me.
Turn the music. Who got the music on? All right, go ahead. Go ahead, champ.
No, I think it was Champ that had the music on. It came in at the right time too. Sounded like it was getting ready to go into a monologue.
It sounded like you planned it right.
Yeah, it sounded like that.
Hey, sorry about that. Yeah,
no, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, brother. Ain't none of us perfect. Now, let me say this real quick, y'all, because this is for an audience member. But I ain't gonna even say your name. Look, bro. At the end of the day, you're arguing to be a nobody. If you're a nobody, that's fine. And it's that simple to me. We ain't gonna make it bigger than what it is. You're arguing to be a nobody, you can be a nobody. Stop crying and whining in my chat about being a nobody, though. Don't do that. Now, if you want to actually give something over here that's important, join the panel, speak your piece or whatever, but get on point of the subject of the show. If you just want to whine that you're a nobody, do it somewhere else. It's just not important over here. All right, go ahead. Whoever that was that was going to speak.
Hey, I was going to ask Black Guru, can I say one thing real quick before he goes? I don't want to.
Well, go ahead, brother.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm respectful like you, Roger. Okay. Anyway, hey, listen. I also want to say this because this is very important. Listen, foundational Black American is lineage. We got
go P. If I don't highlight something, don't worry about anything in the chat. If I don't highlight it.
No, this is not in reference to the chat, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying something, brother.
Go ahead.
Don't interrupt my thoughts, man. FBA is foundational Black American lineage. Okay. Now, here's the other side of it. Our nationality is Negro American. Okay. We Negroes over here, meaning, and I can look, anybody who challenges this, well, I can easily say, like many of us, look at our birth certificate. On your birth, especially on mine, it says Negro. Nationality, Negro. Okay? So when we speak about the difference, lineage is FBA. Yes, foundational. Our nationality is Negro. I gotta make sure we're clear about that.
Well, go Pete. See, my thing is, now you open up stuff that didn't necessarily need to be open. Your nationality is truly the nation you belong to. Our nationality is American.
Okay.
You know, and a lot of people, they get confused with wording. Your nationality is the country you belong to.
Okay.
Now, you can have other descriptors about you as a nationality, but your nationality means it's a reference to your nation. My nation is America, and America is better because I'm here. And as a patriot of America, looking at American track record, as an American Black man, my job is to help America be more like FBA men. If America becomes more like FBA men, America becomes a better place.
Okay.
There's not been a time where we were listened to and America hasn't gotten better. That has not existed.
Nationality is a reality. Just like you say, just like there are Mexican American, there are Asian American, there are Native American, whatever have you. I know when we look at especially being of a certain age, when you look at your birth certificate and they have nationality on there, it says Negro on mine. Okay.
I won't argue that, but there have been a lot of deceptive practices that went on in the past too.
Right. But here's why we put correction on it.
But that goes down a different path, OP. I understand the path that you're going down, and it's a very legitimate path, but that goes down a path that I don't think Rogers is going down.
Understood.
And if I may, Black Ruru, if you'll allow me, I want to say a little bit before I go, because I do have to jump off real quick. Is that all right with you, Elder?
Please, please, go ahead.
Okay. One of the other things that FBA patriotism has to take into account is selective coalitions, not permanent alliances. And this references to something somebody on the panel said, about folks having dealings overseas and everything. Patriotism does not require alignment with every movement or group. FBA patriotism is interest-based. FBA patriotism is time-bound. And FBA patriotism is transparent about benefits and costs. Think about this as a rule. Alliances exist to serve objectives, not identities. And with that, I'm gonna land. I'll hopefully jump back up a little bit later, but I will be listening in the background. Thanks, gentlemen.
I appreciate you, Chef. Appreciate you. You made good, powerful impact quick and early, brother. Real talk. And I'm going to say shout out to my main man, Pound for Pound. Appreciate the super sticker. He said support. And I want to say I definitely appreciate your support. And I want to give a shout out to my main man who threw $10 right after the show yesterday, y'all. We went off air, but shout out to Maurice Novembre. He hit me with the $10 Cash App. And y'all keep in mind, the Cash App here at the Roger Report is $ the Roger Report. And it's also open to you 24 hours a day. So he was able to hit one in right after we went off air. The rest of y'all can do that too. I don't mind. I ain't never got money it's never the wrong time to send me money, y'all. I ain't one of those people. I ain't never got it at a bad time. So shout out to Maurice November. He said for the Golden Girl program. And I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. That's definitely one of my day ones right there. Black Rule, I guess you got the flow, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Roger. I hope you gentlemen on the panel, folks in the public chat are doing well. I have been very impressed with the eloquence of the gentlemen on the panel. Obviously, include yourself, Roger, but OP, obviously Chef, Champ. But I think, ironically, I am and was most moved by what niggas love America for. And that is, I think we've been had by even the notion of patriotism. I think we've been played. I think we're being played by it. I think that the whole notion of defending the country, defending it will help really even formulate the country at its origin has been a scam. And so I'm kind of doing a sort of a review of, just what does it really mean to be a black man in this place we call America? I think the nameless protagonist, the proposals that he made about us adopting something analogous to fictional Mandalorian disposition in this country, in this world, I think that's much more amendable going forward for the purposes of black men than any patriotism. I think we've seen very clearly and are seeing right before our eyes that there's kind of a fire sale going on. And the people who ironically shed the least blood did the least to make the sacrifices to do the defending are those who are reaping the great lion's share benefit of it. I mean, you have a guy who currently is president right now, got out of the draft by claiming club feet or some shit like that. And now he is this whole great triumphant leader. That's really America. Get a guy pretending to be a cowboy about 40 years ago, an actor, did lots of different things about the world to people of color, including those within what we call the United States of America, all while we very patriotically have defended this country's entire record throughout its history and even preceding its existence. If I am in hell, should I love and be patriotic to hell because that's where I am at? Or should I be circumspect of hell the way because it's fucking hell. Now, I'm not critiquing any decisions that any brothers made to join the military. I appreciate, I respect and honor the sacrifices you made, the risks you took. I'm sure in most cases you took it for your own personal interests and your families, and I hope you were properly rewarded for that investment. Although history says more times than not, we're not. To even very often take up the most so-called patriotic position, and that is to wear the colors of the military. Black men have not been properly and aptly rewarded for doing that. So when you talk about being patriotic, I mean, it's almost like a will kind of gaslight doing to yourself as a man, as a human being, as black men in particular. And while, look, if someone invaded the country, I guess for the purposes of trying to defend my family and my community, yeah, of course I would take up arms and try to defend it and stave off and kill those invaders. But this notion of patriotism in and of itself to America, I am very suspicious of that. And I have lived too long and seen too much and seen too many terrible things done. I mean, I've known men. I have relatives who were drafted into Vietnam. I was probably 4 years myself from the possibility of being drafted into that farce that America conducted over there in Vietnam. So I'm just not, and I saw what it did to them, and I saw, some of them lived shortened lives because of it, and very troubled lives during the time that the time of those shortened lives. And they didn't get all the benefit and all the help and all the treatment. Very often they were treated very rudely, and there was very much a racist aspect to how they were treated. I remember, reading the reports of how black men were being disproportionately put on the front lines of that Vietnam War. I remember that. And you're going to tell me I should be patriotic to a country that would do that? No, I reject that. I reject being patriotic to a country that had a three-letter word organization creating and facilitating drug sales and deals within black communities and destroy generations of black men through drugs and or the prison industrial complex. I reject the notion of being patriotic to a country that facilitates doing it. I reject the notion of being patriotic to a country that allow hundreds of black men to die from syphilis and then to use and to give them placebos and refusing to help them, watch them slowly die, very often painfully die, and then use that as the basis of secretly garnering information about the degradation and mobility of human body to venereal disease. I reject the notion of being patriotic to a country that does that. So, as niggas, as the brother said, niggas love America says, I think that's an aptly titled description of the folly of a black man who would deem himself to be patriotic to this country. Not patriotic to America. Not at all.
Okay, y'all. Now I'm gonna read some rules because we have a gentleman who hasn't been to one of my channels in a while. He's been here before, but and as some of y'all know, I done lost a few channels. So it's a good time to read the rules because I said I am gonna read the rules every here and there and again. So this is a good time to do it. Rules of engagement of the Roger Report Live, y'all. Rule number 1: no talking over the host. Rule number 2, stick to the subject of the show. Rule number 3, be respectful to others as they speak. Rule number 4, everyone is afforded a 2-minute uninterrupted opening statement. Use it wisely. Yes, use it wisely is part of it, y'all. If y'all gonna make an opening statement here, use your opening statement wisely. Don't be foolish with it. Number 5, different opinions are welcome, but you must remain respectful at all times. Rule number 6, keep the cursing to a minimum. Yes, y'all, if you want something that people can share with children so they can learn lessons earlier, we got to remember as we speak that it's going to be up to a parent to allow their child to see this stuff. Now, I know kids get stuff they ain't supposed to, and I was kind of proud of the fact that a gentleman who worked at a school said he caught the kids listening to the show. That's a good thing, but I do classify this as adult content. So, I appreciate kids listen, but I'm still have to just say, get your parents' permission, okay? Before you listen, get your parents' permission. So we have Black Manosphere here, and he will get 2 minutes for his uninterrupted opening statement. And after him, y'all, we got Bad Black Gamer coming up. So you can go right after him, Bad Black Gamer. Go right ahead, Black Manosphere. How you doing, brother?
Peace and blessings. How you doing, brother Roger? I'm good. Peace and blessings to everybody. I just wanted to chime in real quick on the topic. I feel like Gold P, Gold Professor. Shout out to him. Shout out to Uru, everybody. I only identify with Black as being a Negro. You know what I mean? That is my first foundation of being taught of what a Black person was to, in America. And so those are my foundations, and that's what I come from. So I didn't know if we changed or we're something else now, or we're not that anymore, but I know I identify as that. And as far as the history here in America with the Black Negro or the Black American, it has never been favorable. It's never been good. So I've never learned to be patriotic or to be like, yes, America, or get behind them, America, America. Yes, I'm so, America, this great thing, this great, you know what I mean? I will use America. I will adapt to anywhere that I go here on the planet and in life, and to my advantages. But I never learned to be patriotic and stand for America with all the atrocities and things that America has done. I don't agree with. So I just wanted to open up by saying that.
That is a good opening statement, my brother. That is a good opening statement. And y'all give me 1 second. Chef Mike wants me to read one of his, and then we'll give it to you, Bad Black Gamer. Chef Mike says, I hear you, Black Uru, with great respect. This isn't about identity, pride, or grievance. It's about how we relate to power, policy, and outcomes in a democracy. Unconditional loyalty belongs in a monarchy. And I'm gonna say, yeah, I mean that makes sense. Unconditional loyalty, yeah, that's a monarchy. That you must be loyal to the king, real talk, or the queen if the king is already passed. But you're gonna be loyal to the throne.
You have a president. See, here's the dilemma. At a certain point, a thing is what it does, not what it says it is. Now, supposedly, you take, presumably, you military men taking oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, you take that oath to the point of possibly even giving your life for it. But how many people who would have you give your life are ever put in a position where they themselves have to honor that same criteria? See, at a certain point, I mean, what are you doing here? You're a human being with a finite lifespan, a life expectancy. And you can't just believe shit that is not true and that is not healthy for you as a human being. Now, again, of course, defend your home, defend your family, defend your community. Be proud of whatever you create here in this hell. You have a right to be proud of what you create in this hell, but it's a hell. And it's been that way since before it was even a country. For you, it's been. Now, for other people, it's been a nirvana. It's been a Valhalla. It's been a heaven. But for others, but for us in particular, it has not been that. It has been you giving 100% and getting 1% back, and that's just enough to sustain your ability to continue to give that other 99% away to others. And I think it's foolish to be patriotic to that.
Okay,
Okay.
Roger,
Hold
let me
fast.
ask just one
What?
question. You know,
Well, no, no,
I'm
no.
not gonna be long.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, because I got Bad Black Gamer who done came up, and I got some money stuff to deal with as well. So just hold fast, because when you ask a question, we got to answer a question. You know what I'm saying? So just hold fast, right, and just don't lose it, okay? Don't lose it. All right. First of all, let me say shout out to my main man, Red Pill Sleeper Cell, who hit me with the Cash App. He hit me with $30. He said, "Crab clusters. Hey, brother, I appreciate it, and I will make sure this is put to great crab use." And that's real talk. Okay. That's real talk. So thank you, brother.
Let me say something. You know why sugarcane production was so important for both benefit of American slaves as well as slaves throughout the Western Hemisphere, Caribbean, South America. You know why sugar? You know what the number one purpose of sugarcane was to provide the artificial energy to fuel the slaves themselves. It's like almost like the liquidation scene in the Matrix movie, where you liquidate the dying people who plugged in to fuel the people who are plugged in who are still alive. I mean, the system itself was created to extract every bit of possible productivity out of black men to the point in which they could continue to barely be able to survive and feel sane enough to continue to produce for the others. That is what America did. Now, I claim something else in the so-called thing they call the Constitution and amendments. That's not what America did. America did not do the Constitution of the United States of America. It did something very different historically. And so when you talk to me about patriotism, I'm like, what are we talking about?
But hopefully I'm gonna clear it up in a moment. Because you're right. Well, let me say shout out to Bullish Prince of Wales. He says, once we recognize who the patriarchs of this land are, unquestionably, we are the only patriots of this promised land, separate from the United States. Okay. Now I'm gonna say that could be leaving the United States could be a very patriotic thing to do. Yeah, I want y'all to keep in mind, this is not patriotism from a white man's viewpoint. This is what does foundational Black Americans patriotism look like. Okay, it ain't saying what the white folks view is. Their view is not even to be considered at this point, unless it's something that's adversarial to us, that we say, okay, well, we got to recognize this particular faction has to be taken out. This is what is patriotism to us. Okay, they give their presentation on what they claim they want us to be. Our job, as if you're a patriot, you have to take on enemies that are foreign or domestic. Right now, you're just gonna have a lot more domestic enemies than you're gonna have foreign, and that's something we need to embrace and accept as Black men who live in this country. I know my enemies are right here in America. A lot of them are policymakers. Policymakers been our enemies for a long time. So what does it mean to us, not to them? But let me let Bad Black Gamer get his opening statement here. And what was it? NLA, we're gonna come back to you because you had that questions. So Bad Black Gamer, go ahead. Then we're gonna come back to NLA so we can get his question answered. Go ahead, my brother.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Salutes to the chat and salutes to Roger. Hopefully my sounds is okay today. I'm gonna say it like this. I'm trying to be brief with it. I did serve in the Air Force for a little bit when I was in my younger. My father and my uncles both served in the Army. My grandfather served in the Army. Well, he was during the Vietnam time. He actually got discharged because one of his well, I guess one of the white commanding officers or people that was in charge of him tried to comfort him while they was like basically deployed, and he ended up killing him. And he ended up getting court-martialed for that and getting discharged. Although I don't think I don't know if he got honorably discharged. I think it was like other than dishonorably discharged because of that. But he didn't have to serve jail because it was like it was some racial stuff. It was like some like stuff kind of like I imagine what Emmett Till dad went through that they never talk about, how he was killed in his service during the military during World War II. So even still, like we all still join the military and everything like that because we still believe in patriotism and things of that nature because we've always served, like in my family. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other black families out there as well. Well, like the caller that came on earlier in the show said, we've been serving since Revolution War, since Civil War. There's no war Americans has fought that we have not been a part of as Black Americans. And I can go on to say that America couldn't win any of the wars they won without us. If you really look at the history and look at the service from like the the red tails that couldn't fly in America's Air Force, so they went to France to fly there. Like without Black Americans, none of the wars they won, it could have been won without us. Okay, so because of that, in that sense, we own this country. We have a certain because we have a certain part in it because we've played a great part in its success, and we still do. Like if you look at the military now, we outserve the percentage of people that we make up in this country. The military is made up maybe about 20% Black Americans, but we only make up about 6% of the country. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself is a lot. So my thing, I'm gonna end with it right here. When I joined the military, they told us that, hey, look, the president of the United States is the commander in chief. Is your commander in chief. We do not serve the person, we serve the office. So it doesn't matter who's in that office, they're the commander in chief, whether we agree with them or not. Our job is to, as when we are citizens and civilians, is to try to make sure we select the best people we can, and then we fight to get the best people that are going to represent us and do the things that are good. You know what I'm saying? Because we do a lot of bad in America, and we know that we've started stuff over in other countries, and we deleted a lot of their people. A lot of their people got deleted because of bad decisions that we made, or because we started something in their country because we didn't want to have to deal with it over here or something, something of that nature. So that's just something that we're going to constantly be fighting inside the country, is try to get better people and better leadership and get better policies and things of that nature, and make sure that we find ways to find justice for all our people. If we're not in a country, even though it's like Black people's been mistreated through the centuries. So it's our job to serve, and I mean we serve, and then we serve because this is our country and this is the only place we've ever known. And if somebody comes over here and take over, you think they're gonna treat us better? I don't think so. So this is our country. We should fight for it, and we should also fight each other to get it to be a better country. And I'll land my plane right there.
All right. Now I'm gonna say this, y'all. Because everybody got a chance to say what they want to say. Oh, you know what? In LA, get your question in. I said you're gonna get your question in. What was the question that you had? Let's get that in.
At what point does being patriotic turns into some sort of great Stockholm syndrome? Because y'all want to be patriotic, I understand that. But your political class, your political leaders, they have foreign citizenship under their belt also. Many of them, they have foreign passport from other countries also. Does that matter in your calculation about patriotism?
Well, see, I'm gonna say this is the thing. I am expressing patriotism from a Black point of view. I highlighted FBA because we are the majority of Blacks in this particular country, but I still welcome other people to give their views. The question is, who are y'all trying to be patriots to? Are you trying to? Are you fighting to agree with a white man's perception of patriotism? Because the show is about our perception of patriotism. Their perception is not even important on this particular show, unless we're talking about something that they have in place that we're going to make a plan to defeat. What is our
What are you
vision
being
of patriotism?
patriotic to? What are you being patriotic to if it's not to this white man's country?
Well, the thing is, you need to be patriotic to what we believe the country is supposed to be, not necessarily what it is. There will be things that need to change.
Okay, so
And as I said
you should
earlier,
be patriotic to an idea of something that has never existed in the history of this country. That's what you're saying?
what? Yes, because the only way to make an idea come into fruition is you got to fight for it.
I mean, you might as well just say it's like being akin to believing in God, where you believe in something, which, you know, no disrespect for people who believe in God, but I mean, you kind of made America a deity. You made it into some intangible thing that for which there should be some fealty to, because it has not been effectively tangible for Black Americans, for FBAs.
No,
That America has not existed that has warranted the patriotism that you allude to. That country, that America has never existed.
and it never will exist unless we fight to make it exist.
So
Nothing
why
comes
are you
into
being
existence.
patriotic to?
No. This is because nothing comes into existence
I
until you
mean, we're
decide
250 years. We're 250 years into that. 250
nothing.
years, and then this notion of fealty to this idea that never happened.
Well,
Nothing.
what I
Hold
would,
on. Let me say this. Nothing comes into existence until you decide to make it come into existence. And I'm gonna say, as Black
So
America,
you think the 10 generations that precede you did not decide to make it try to come into existence?
no. It's not. It's not about what they tried to do. Is if we've made the decision to make that America a reality, that means we do it until we get it done. Obviously,
Hey,
it
can
ain't
I add
finished
something to
yet.
this, Roger? Can I add
Yeah.
something to that? What you're saying?
Hold on. Let
hold
me
on.
let go. Let me let Gold P say what you want to say. Then you got a bad Black game. Go ahead, Gold
All
P.
right.
You wanted to say something?
Okay, so listen, we have to take into consideration that Black Guru comes from, he's a little bit older than us, and his experiences may be a little bit different than ours in regards to the patriot conversation, being patriotic. We might have to consider that because Uru is coming from a standpoint of what America has done for us and what we have not received. I can get where he's coming from in that aspect, okay. But at the same time, things were different at that point versus now, okay. And our through time, definitions have changed in so many ways, so many words, so many views. Generations have took on the idea or the thought or the energies of patriotism in different manners. Okay. Myself and Uru aren't that far apart in age, but his experience may be a little bit different than mine. I was military. Okay. So my experience is different than what his would be. Military tends to go through a certain programming and training. Our experiences here and foreign run different. So we may have a different type of conversation when it comes to that. But as far as being patriotic, we say, hey, look, we are charged to defend the United States foreign against foreign and domestic aggressors. And that means We are saying from the wars way back then all the way up to the now, we are patriotic, but our blood is just as involved in this in the United States as anybody else. We are there in it. And this is why I say, hey, we as black people or Negro Americans, because once again, it is on my birth certificate, and it is on a lot of us our birth certificates of who we are. The foundation is our lineage, and our nationality is Negro American because we are those black people who fought and been in it. My father was in the military. My uncles, we come from that, and we spilt that kind of blood, putting that work in there. We put that kind of time and energy into that. So our conversation about being patriotic may be slightly different than what Uru's saying, even though we are saying the same thing. He just on the other side of it, meaning he's recognizing and acknowledging what they haven't done for us, and we can't deny that.
Okay, now I'm just gonna quickly say, please keep in mind when they put Negro on your birth certificate, they were insulting you, telling you you don't have a country.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No,
Doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, keep that in mind. But I'm
I
gonna
got it. But
hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I gotta let these other folks get in. Bad Black Gamer, go ahead. Well, what you want to
All
say?
right, thank you. I'm gonna be quick, try to be quick about it. To kind of answer Uru, when you saying like how long are we supposed to deal with this, I'm gonna reference this to think about it like this: the wall in China. It's the only man-built item thing on this planet that you can see from space. That's not like a natural thing, right? It took them 2,000 years to build that. It took like 20 generations of dedication to a goal to build something that you can see from space. So yes, they have never treated us right from the start. We came to this country slaves. We all know that. And then they freed us, and then we went right into Jim Crow. We know that.
Yeah.
But everything that we have is everything that we do now, that we experience now, is because Black people have gotten up every day and fought for it.
That's right.
Regardless of the situation we was in, regardless of how they treated us. And I'm sorry, that's just what we're going to do. If we're gonna make this country ours and be great, and if this country is going to be great, we're going to have to be great, and they're going to be great to us. So that's just something we're going to have to continue to fight for. That's not every generation is going to have to put their work in. It's just how it is.
Can I add something real quick?
Go ahead real quick, champ, and then I'm gonna read this by Elder Blood, and then I got to get Jay Moore in here.
I agree with what Black Guru and what the brother just said right here. And I think what it means is that as collectively as Black people, and I'm talking about foundational Black Americans or any Black person who is on code with us, is that if we're going to be getting somewhere, we have to be unified in everything else. Because when we're unified, we're able to get things done. The Black church, was the one that held us together and everything else. And out of that Black church, you had everything from businesses to our own schools, our own things that we had and everything else. So if we stay on code, when we on code and everything else, we get things done right.
Hey, good point. Good point. Shout out to Elder Blood. He says Rome had gladiators. Go ahead, Blacko. Go ahead.
No, go on, Serge.
But no, because I got to get Jay Moore in too. That's what I'm saying. If you want to say it now, we don't want you to forget what you was going to say.
I mean, I don't have to be. I can be faithful to my family, my neighborhood, my Black people. I can be faithful and have been, to the best of my ability and knowledge, been faithful to those things, absent some fantasy about America. I don't in any way include America and some notion, some ephemeral, intangible notions of patriotism towards America. I don't include that at all in my regard for my family and my friends and whatever business partnerships I've had or whatever. I don't include that at all. If anything, that is more likely to be a complication and present some dilemmas for me effectively maintaining and fortifying those relationships. You know, America is a tool to facilitate my interests while I'm on this particular part of the geographical part of Earth. Period. It means nothing more to me than that. Not as some kind of great idea or fantasy of building a great wall over 2,000 years. I'm not trying to build some great wall of America. You know, that's not important to me. Especially since I don't expect America to survive that long.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I don't really have any idea or any cause to preserve, quote, America. Fuck America.
yeah, but Uru,
For what it's done to me and my people.
but Uru, you're
Hold
wishing.
fast, hold fast. I got a super chat to read.
Yes,
Jay
sir.
Moore got to get in, and here come Compassion Kaiser's and joined us too. So just hold fast, brother. Hold fast. Shout out to Elder Blood. He said Rome had gladiators. America had gross neither qualified. I think he's saying Negro, but qualified as patriots nor heroes. Property erroneously think themselves noble under the black woman and white man New World Order. Now, I mean, America has its past. We can't deny what you're saying on that Elder Blood. America does have its past.
No. Let's focus on the analogy you present. It's an apt analogy because we're the gladiators. We're the ones who sacrifice blood and bone, kill each other, kill ourselves, or whatever, and we're not even citizens of Rome.
Yeah,
we're the gladiators. We've been the gladiators for 250 years and 150 years before that when there wasn't a United States of America. We're the gladiators in that form. We're the ones who kill each other up and get killed up and torn apart for the entertainment and the pleasure of the citizens of Rome, the great citizens of Rome.
Yeah, but
that's what our role is.
Once again, Uru, once again, I put emphasis on the fact that we are black men up here on this panel, and each black man has their experience or their thoughts, and you're coming from one era, another person's coming from this era or that or experience, and we can understand what you're saying because our families probably experienced it. We probably ourselves experienced it, but the reality is we're here right now, and it is from a time ago where we got to this point. We had to go through a magnitude of stuff to get to this point. Yeah. I can understand why.
And I don't have to pretend. I don't have to pretend to love America to survive.
Well, it's not about pretending, though. It's not about pretending.
I don't need that. I'm saying I don't have to adopt some fantasy about some future possibility of the Great Wall of America.
Yeah, but I don't think we're engaging in
I don't
the
need
idea
that. I don't need to be a part of that. I just need to do the best I can to prepare my children, my community, whatever, to survive in this world as it exists now. And hopefully provide them with enough wherewithal that if this thing falls, that they can adapt to life elsewhere.
Well, Black Rule, let me ask you this.
That's what I'm patriotic.
Black Rule, can I ask you this?
Well, that's what I'm patriotic. Hold, we still got Jay Moore.
Oh, okay.
And compassion. I appreciate the passion that everybody has. I really do. But I gotta let these other guys get the flow at some point. I do, okay? Yes, but I do appreciate the passion and where folks are coming from. Jay Moore, you got your opening statement, brother. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm gonna start off with this. I agree with Black Rue on this shit. On this stuff 100% because the more you guys talk, the more I think you guys got Stockholm syndrome or something. Because this country you guys have this unbelievable amount of love and whatever the hell passion for this country that doesn't give a damn about you. And especially, I'm a first generation American, and I served this country. And I'm looking at, and the more I look into the history of what happened to Black Americans here, the first person to fight and die for this country for the Civil War was a Black man. And guess what? Guess what? All you niggas was still at slaves. I look at what happened during the Civil War. They asked you to come and fight for you, or fight for them on both sides, from the British to the American side, and even I'm not just civil. I mean the Civil War, both on the what's called Union and the Confederate side. And what did that still end? Yeah, yeah, both the not just the revolutionary. No, I mean both of them, both the Revolutionary and Civil War. Both sides asked for both of them to do the same thing for Black people to come and fight for them, and they said they were going to give you freedom or something. And guess what? It still ended up. Y'all niggas still being enslaved. As soon as slavery was done, guess what they put you through? Not just Jim Crow and all that other stuff, but basically everything. They still put you in the chain gangs, everything, put you in slavery and all this stuff. I don't get why a lot of you have this unbelievable amount of love and reverence like a deity for this country that don't give a damn about any one of you. And every last one of you keeps trying to say some type of garbage and explain why you have this stuff, but you can't answer Black Uru what he's really saying about it, because the more you look into this country, how much they sacrifice your lives to expand this country, not from the 13 colonies all the way to the western part of this country. Took it from Mexico and all this other stuff, and from the natives and stuff, have Black people doing this stuff and still have you in chains, still put you in jail, still do all this stuff to you. You still talking about this country I'm just saying, I get it. I will fight for this country. The only reason I even care enough for this country because my family's here, and I won't go too far because I know they will do something to my family. But other than that, this country don't deserve shit from any one of you, and this whatever love and all this stuff you got from it, and especially all you that's ex-military. Look what they did to us during all these wars and stuff, especially during the Vietnam War too. They're having us dying out there, sending us to the front lines all the freaking time. These motherfuckers can't survive in the heat. They sent us out there, and guess what praises did you get? Nothing. You get lynched more. I remember a couple years back on one of Roger's old channels, we were talking about Kevin Sang was talking about the suits and stuff that Black men was talking. Black men are wearing. We should wear more suits. The most respected suits that's out here for this country is your military suits. And guess what they had these niggas at? Hanging on a tree in that suit, cutting off their damn nuts and their dicks. And I'm trying to figure out where you guys get this reverence and this love for this country so much that you want to keep talking this BS and trying to go around what Black Rule was saying. I mean, this is disrespectful. And I'm not even Black American. And I'm really offended how you guys even talking about your own ancestors right now.
Well, you are Black American. You just said you first generation. You are Black American.
But I mean, not foundational. I'm talking about my roots is not from here. I'm talking about actually went through the slavery here.
Brother, I get you. But what Black Rule is saying is easily addressed. I'm just trying to let everybody get their words in. That's all. And
I get that, but I'm just to point out to everybody here that I get what you're trying to talk about the patriotism, but this country don't deserve that type of level of patriotism at all. And I'm talking as an ex-military person myself.
No, I get what you're saying. It's just you yet to see what I'm saying, and that's okay because I'm trying to make sure everybody get their stuff in. And shout out to Bullish Prince of Wales. I just seen something where you said that I didn't read your super chat. It wasn't because of anything going on. I just didn't see the super chat. Okay, you can miss something here or there sometime. And when you hold sometimes a super chat waiting so long, I gotta make sure everything gets said. That's all. So I just missed it. Wasn't nothing against whatever you're saying in the super chat. And let's see what you're saying in the super chat. He said, "This promised land of America is undoubtedly our land. And we will never leave. The United States corporation is foreign to this land and patriarchs." Now, I'm gonna say, when it comes down to it, if you're an American, yes, it is your land. I think y'all have yet to really get what I'm saying. The title is telling you something that you're not really looking at. You're looking at a white man's ideal of patriotism. I'm saying, what is your idea of a FBA's view of patriotism, or any other Black that's along with us here? What is our view of patriotism? If you're going to go with the white man's view, you're never going to get there. What's our view? Because guess what? You actually count. My view counts because I'm somebody in this country. I know I'm somebody. I know there's a lot of people against me, but I know none of them people are more important than me. So my ideal is far more important than their idea, because our ideas as FBA Americans has helped make this country a better place, period. This country needs to be on its hands and knees thanking us that we've even participated in this country to make this a much better place. But let me let Compassion and Callus get in. And look like we got Jado coming up as well. So I'm going to get him in right after Compassion and Callus. Go ahead. You got the flow, my brother.
What's up, fellas? No, it's great discussion. I hear both sides, and I think I understand. I understand where Uru's coming from, and I understand where our service members are coming from. Raj, would you highlight? I think could you highlight my comment in the chat? I define what patriotism is.
Ooh, did you just do it, or you did it a while ago?
Like a little while ago. You should be able to find it.
I'll find it. All right,
Yeah,
go ahead.
But and firstly, before I say, because I understand where Uru's coming from, and I definitely am one to. I'm a political Mandalorian myself, so I definitely understand where he's coming from. But I also understand where the service members, a lot of my family members, all my uncles were served in the military. My grandfather served in the military. All of my grandfathers. So I understand that aspect, and I had the pleasure. And I preface what I say before. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, the definition of patriot. So we can level set what we even saying by, having this conversation about what is our orientation towards being patriots. Patriotism is an emotional attachment, love, and devotion a person feels for their country, often accompanied by a sense of duty of its people and values. That's what patriotism is. It's an emotional feeling and reverence and love for your country. Obviously, what Uru points out is that it's a paradoxical situation for an African American to have love and reverence for the United States of America, obviously. But at the same time, so I'll say one of my uncles was actually awarded like a Bronze Star for his actions in Vietnam. And just and common, and service members probably can attest to this. Common amongst people that are awarded any awards from the United States government, even including white people, they kind of shrug it off or have a weird uh, thought process to it. Look outside looking in. He explained it to me. He don't give a fuck about his Bronze Star because the Bronze Star is America's giving him acknowledgement for the service he's given to America by his actions. He said, fuck that, because he only did it because he fucked with the guys in his unit. It wasn't about America. He actually he cared about the guys in his unit. He was not doing that shit because the commander in chief sent him to Vietnam to serve America. So then that changed my orientation of what I thought. And this is a black man. I think that's a black patriot's point of view. A lot, and I can say we owe service members, military men, a great debt because of their service in the Civil War, which justified us even getting the right to vote and enfranchise in this country to even make the changes that we went on to make. That service and them service wasn't exactly you think slaves off a plantation was fighting in the Civil War for the love of America or the emotional attachment to a veneration? No, they were proving themselves and proving to everybody else, disproving a lie that they were less than human and less than men and less than capable than any other man on a planet to fight a war, defend themselves, and fight for their own freedom. So I think black patriotism, to answer your question, Raj, ain't about loving America. It's about, as a black man, it's about loving yourself and your people. And what you do in service of America is more, because black men actually believe in meritocracy. Black men are pretty much the only people that believe genuinely in meritocracy. We believe we should have to spill blood to get the right to vote and have a say so. We believe if we want to be able to argue, we got to go serve, because we're not hypocrites. We're not weak men. We're very honorable men. So our orientation to it, I don't think it's no goofy ass love, like my blind love, like you risking your life over in Afghanistan for America. No, you're risking your life in Afghanistan for yourself, for what you represent in that institution historically, because you are of the blood of the red tails, and I would like to think you would like to show out in front of these white boys and show them what a real warrior is. So I think FBA patriotism ain't got shit to do with any veneration for this nation. It's a display of the black warrior class. And we done that very well. So I'll land my plane there.
I'm gonna say, hey, good job, brother. Good job. Shout out to Officer Franz Schmitz. He says, profound topic. Black men universally suffer in this abstract and tactical domain. White men alternate between patriotism and mutiny and like a beautiful dance. I think that's a very good and profound statement as well. And yes, y'all, the thing is, our version of patriotism, if you really understand what's going on in this country, I don't see how your version of patriotism can match a white man's version of patriotism, because the average white man sure ain't gonna think like me. But I'm gonna get more into that later. Let me also say, shout out to Bullis Prince of Wales again. He said, our understanding of patriotism is documented by the patriarchs of the so-called Old Testament that records our history on this very land. Now, I think that's a profound statement too. You can look at how we view things through the Bible, which I know a lot of y'all look at as a religious book, but it's just a book of history. That's what it is. It is a book of history that gives you a certain point of view from a group of black men. And a few others are in there, but that's basically what it is. And Jado has come up, so let me let Jado get in. Jado, you got it, my brother.
Hey, what up, Roger? What up, fellas? Hope y'all doing good, man. Salute to the chat, replay games as well.
We doing all right, Jado, but I think I'm in a war zone right now, to tell you the truth, bro. Everybody's shooting today.
Hey, Roger, you're once again, and we acknowledge your brilliance, man. Your topics, your questions that you pose on your shows, man. It's very provocative. It's a paradox. I think Compassionate College just said, and it's very true. Like I'll just say for me, I live in a constant state of cognitive dissonance, man. So sometimes when I revealed that I'm a veteran or whatever, and people say thanks for your service, man, I get a conflict when I hear that. It's a conflict within me because I am proud of my service, but at the same time, who was I actually serving, man, and who benefited the most from my service? And when I look at the wealth of this country, and I've said this before, like, I think black people have what, between 3 and 5% of the total wealth of this country, and we're like 13 to 14% of the population. That's not proportionate. You know what I'm saying? It's out of proportion. So man, I love the topic. It makes me think about one of my favorite comedians, man. This is a white dude. He's passed on. George Carlin, man. He did a bit where he said, "God bless America," and then he just kind of went off into what that means and all that stuff, and being patriots and stuff like that. So I really respect what he had to say about it. So I guess I'll end with this. Like, man, I consider myself, I'm my own country, me. I'm a country, I'm a nation myself. And I'm a patriot to myself. And any other nations or annexes of my nation, I'm a patriot to them, their countries as well. So whoever's willing to work with me so we can both get a mutual benefit from it, I'm a patriot to myself and those other countries that are willing to work with me. And I'll end right there. Thanks for having me up, Ross.
Hey, peace, Jay. Hey, real quick, I just want to say, look, when we go into the military, there's a reason why there's an age limit in the military. Usually they want you to come in at 17, 18 years old. Back then, it used to be younger than that, 16. Okay? When you go into service at that age, you're not necessarily thinking about how much love you got for your country. You just going into something to help you get you into a better situation or out of a situation. Okay, that's what the military people was going in for it, back then. They was being either you go to jail or you go in the military. That's that back then. And then further ahead, hey, I gotta get out of this neighborhood. I gotta get out of this place because the crack epidemic is a problem, and I may fall into this. I got to get out somehow. So we didn't necessarily go into the military with the idea that we had some love for the country. We didn't. We just wanted to get out of a situation and make our personal situation better. And we'll learn about being patriotic as we go forward. So we got into it and we built bonds. We built bonds with the people we were in squads with and battalions with and what we had to do. And we learned with each other. And in my battalion especially, it was all men, boys and men, young boys and men, coming up together. And we learned what it is, how we have respect for each other. And the conversation didn't necessarily, even though we had to go out there every day and salute the flag and listen to all this and then blah, 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 we still had more of a relationship with each other. We was willing to go into situations with each other. That's what our thing was about being patriotic. That's what we understood being patriotic was about, being with each other. We didn't really learn about anything until we matured into that. Okay, so for Jay Moore, look, I'm glad you came back because, you seem quite aggressive in talking about what we, especially as members, and I know, and thank you for your service, but I think it is disrespectful to attempt to take away our position when it comes to what we have an understanding of what being patriotic is and where we place our patriotic energies. I think that's disrespectful. And for those who
hold on, wait, why is it? Well, hold on, let me ask a question. Now,
yes, sir.
You both of you men served. Both
Yes,
of
sir.
you men were in a position where you could have risked your life, possibly died for the country. In my view, with all due respect, I'm not a former serviceman, so this is just my opinion. Accept it as you will. Jay has every bit of the right and earned every bit of the right to have his opinion on the subject as you did. You all both took the same risk, got the same training, were put in the same position where some fools could have sent you somewhere to die. So, he earned the right to have that opinion, even though it differs from yours. So I don't know how you can say it's disrespectful merely because it disagrees or does not necessarily conform with that of yours. He earned the respect to have that difference of opinion from you, from my humble view.
Okay, so
And can
I
I
only
say this?
address what he said, and I gave my humble opinion as well. It is my position that he was disrespectful with his candor. I'm not going against what he can say, what he desires to say. Okay, but I'm saying it is disrespectful in the way of, look, man, we, especially as service members, and our history as service members, our family and all, and the things that came along with that, good, bad, and indifferent, we've been part of that. And he is entitled, you're right, he is entitled to express his view. And it is in my position, it is my right to
Have you ever made a mistake? Have you ever made a mistake?
Right to say, hey,
have you ever made a mistake, Gold P?
Yes,
You
sir,
have a right. He has a right. Jay has a right to say he believes it was a mistake.
Okay.
He has a right to say that. He has a right to say that what we or you collectively did in hindsight was a mistake. It's not to say it was necessarily true or whatever. It's all subjective. But he earned the right to say that.
There's no
He earned the
dispute.
right to say that.
There's no dispute.
So for you to claim it to be disrespectful, it's kind of a disservice and a dishonor to the fact that he did and took the same chances that you took and
Then
all
you're
those other
saying he
people
can't be.
took.
You're saying he
You
can't
know,
be
I want to point out
You're
something. You know
saying
what's
that.
really, you know what's really more disrespectful than what you're saying that I said is disrespectful is that they
Yes,
sent a
sir.
whole bunch of young, innocent black men, drafted them and all this stuff to go to these wars, to fight for other people's freedoms, to come back home and still get lynched in the same uniform that these
Hey,
motherfuckers never even wore in a day in their damn
uh,
lives. And I'm just trying to figure. I'm trying to say, like, look, man, I get where you're trying to come from, but that's not patriot. That's not patriotism. That's brotherhood.
but
Okay.
but both sides are correct. Everything that you guys have said is correct, man. It's a paradox. Is I think Pastor Callis said earlier. It's a paradox, man. Like,
Can I add
look,
something
man, this
real quick?
country,
Can I just add something kind of point of
real
view, real
quick,
quick?
like, look, just real quick, like this country for me, this is all I know. Have you? And you guys that served and been overseas, have you ever seen you come across someone that's a citizen of another country and they're looking at you like they would kill to be in your position? They would die. They would kill or die to be in the position that you're in, to live in this country, man. So it is a paradox, man. We enjoy a lot of luxuries, amenities, and a lot of great opportunities being in this country, man. But we can't just dismiss the mistreatment that we've had over these years, man. It's a paradox, man.
Man,
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
It's like what
Hey,
Paul
right
Mooney said.
quick, right
Everybody
quick
wants to
though.
be a
fast.
nigga till you become a nigga.
All right, I'm gonna read this from Elder Blood. Then I'm gonna let Bad Black Gamer say what he wanted to say, and then I'm gonna say what I want to say. All right. Shout out to Elder Blood one more again. He said, while black men are showing patriotism in wars on America's front lines, black women behind the lines were showing patriotism, giving white men a very good time. Patriotism. Elder Blood, you a fool for that. You a fool for that. All right, Bad Black Gamer, go ahead, bro.
No, I just want to say real quick, just from this point of view, like if either one of you guys became president on this panel, I would patriotically support all of you guys and salute you. So,
Okay, now
and the stuff for Gold P, but everybody else, no, I'm
yeah.
just playing.
What's with all the aggression,
Shout
brother?
out to Bad Black Gamer for that one. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Come on,
What's with all the aggression, man?
let's not pick on Gold P like that.
Yeah,
Come
I know,
on.
right?
Yeah.
Nah, we just playing with Gold. We just playing with him. But
I know.
let me just say this. Let me just say this, y'all. Yeah, everybody so far technically is right because this is our view of what patriotism is. It's not the white man's view. And what I'm gonna say, all y'all are being great patriots right now because you're on the panel. To love something means to try to improve it. I'm just as patriotic as anybody else because I'm trying to improve my country right now. Me developing this show and doing what I do Monday through Fridays, that's patriotism. No, it's not picking up a gun. It's not shooting at somebody from a foreign land, but it's still patriotism. It's just a different form of it. Patriotism is not serving the military. Patriotism is love for your country. However you display love for your country is you showing that you are patriotic. Our love for our country should be very different than a lot of other people's perception of love for the country. Because if you love the country, you want the country to be great. I'm a person who actually pushes for equality. A lot of people claim they push for equality and they don't. They say we need equality, so let's give XYZ a special privilege. That's not being patriotic. That's saying I want somebody else to dominate another group of people, and it doesn't make a difference how the country must suffer because of it. That's not patriotic. Being patriotic means doing the right thing at the right time for the right results. At the end of the day, there is no group of people in this country that are more patriotic than the average foundational Black American man. Ain't nobody more patriotic than us. Not as a group. Everybody else should strive to be as patriotic as we are. I understand the Constitution said some things. I understand it didn't necessarily put out the things that it said. My job is to fight to make that thing a reality. That's patriotism. And I got to fight enemies of that are foreign and domestic. It's just most of my enemies are gonna be domestic. It ain't the people overseas stopping me from getting the job that I would deserve to have. It was people right here that did that. You know, I've had people say, well, you ain't never really been affected by racism. Yo, I have. I lost a job because I wasn't white enough. It's that simple. I was a black man. I told y'all before, I'm working in the company. I'm looking all around at this big old factory, all these people working here, and I couldn't find but 2 other young black men there. And when I asked them when they got there, they got hired in the same hiring session I got hired in. Now, my enemy is domestic at that point, okay? Because there's people here who believe they should treat me differently just because of the color of my skin. I just have a lot of domestic enemies. I can't really even afford to pay attention to foreign enemies because my domestic enemies are so in my face, I can't really worry about them. If I don't stop my domestic enemies, I'll never be able to deal with my foreign enemies. So the thing is, what are you actually saying patriotism is? I do love my country. That's why I try to push it to what it's supposed to be and not accept it as it is. The patriots make it be what it needs to be. That's what patriots have always done. Every country on planet Earth was just an ideal at some point. It got to where it got to because somebody was willing to push it to where it got to. My thing is, America ain't good enough. It needs to be better. And because I'm a patriot, I'm doing my part to make it better. It ain't just all wrapped up in military service. And I'm not saying none of this to demean anyone's military service. And I don't even care why you went to the military, because I know most black men went to the military over financial issues. But at the end of the day, if you fought to make your country better, you're a patriot. If you fought to make your country worse, you're a traitor. There's been traitors in government. Real talk. And if you look at some people's actions, there's traitors in government right now. You got to be pro making America better, or you're a traitor.
Well,
It's that simple.
That's why I said when Uru was speaking earlier about patriotism, I said yes, he doesn't have to join the service to be a patriot. He's a patriot for his family. He's a patriot for his community. He's a patriot for doing business. I mean, when you pay your taxes, you are a patriot. You know, that's patriotic, even though we don't want to pay the taxes.
Now that could be just complying with the law, though. Really?
Well, hey, you can not comply with the law, can't you?
I'm saying that I don't think it has anything to do with love for his country. Now, I would say
I'm not saying it does either. I'm just saying for his personal family, for the goal he wants to make or achieve, he's being patriotic about it because he is his own, like Jado said, he's his own community. He's his own family. He's patriotic to his family and what he's looking to build. And I think that's the same with Uru. He was patriotic when it came to his own family and community and what he needed to do to move this thing forward. Regardless of our challenges in so-called America, we know we have that. But he's
did compassionate ever? I stepped away momentarily. Did compassionate ever present the actual definition of patriotism?
He did.
He put it in. Yeah, he put it in the chat, and I highlighted it.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say Black Uru is a patriot because he comes to this show regularly. Black Uru come to this show and he don't have to. Why does Black Uru come to this show? To help America be better. He's dealing with stuff that ain't really being dealt with properly in mainstream media, but he come regularly. He coming out of love. No matter what Black Uru say to me, he's a patriot because he comes here for free to do something that'll help the country. And guess what? I can't afford it. So I know he's a patriot.
I will accept that. I will accept that as your definition of what I do and the purpose of what I do. But that's not my intention. I have no consideration at all from any sort of American standpoint. I give no thought, no concern at all from an American standpoint. Black men, black men who happen to be in what we call the United States of America. Black men, I give consideration to black men who are in and from the Caribbean who may be listening. I give consideration to black men who may be listening in Africa or in Europe, I give consideration for them to the extent that it might be, quote, beneficial to whatever so-called nation they happen to inhabit, is coincidental from my perspective. It is not at all intentional for me to improve America or any other white-run country, for sure. Now, if it's beneficial coincidentally to maybe some Caribbean country or maybe some African country or whatever, I mean, I don't know. Okay, that would be great. That would be great if it's that. But I'm not trying to improve America. I don't believe it's possible. I believe we just go from one shithole scenario to the next. And in the end, black men are always at the bottom of it.
Hey, Roger, can you put up Afro Merchant's comment, his recent one?
The last one he just did?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Afro Merchant says, we are a nation within a nation, and we should be patriotic about it. And I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And that's something we got to come to terms with. Okay. And that's why I said America, for us to be patriotic, we need to make America more like FBA men.
Right.
That's the right thing to do. And thank you, Black Ooh, for clearing up exactly.
Look, if I'm on the Titanic, I don't want the Titanic to sink. I don't want the Titanic to sink, not because it's the Titanic. I don't want the Titanic to sink because I'm on the fucking Titanic. Otherwise, I have no regard or appreciation or no intangible view or feelings or fantasies about the Titanic.
I agree with you on that. Hey, we getting off the boat. We getting off the boat together first.
That's one. That's one thing. That's one of the things I wanted to. What's it called? I'm saying too. It's just like, look, man. When I was when I got out of the military and everything, I'm looking at it. I'm just like, look, man. I'd rather figure. I'm cool with all the stuff that I get from America. It's cool with I get certain benefits from this thing. But God damn it, you think I'm gonna be out here trying to really save this country if my family wasn't here? I'm like, yo, I'll be on the first boat out of here. It's not like I'm more if you want to say like what you guys are saying, the patriotic thing to do. I'm more like patriotic to my people, black people and stuff. And let me put it like this too: if we're on the Titanic and there's a lifeboat to get off the Titanic, and I see a nice, pretty little white family in front of my way, and it's gonna block my family from getting on there. What do you think I'm gonna do to that white family on there? They all gonna drown.
Be very patriotic.
Everybody out the way. We getting on that boat.
Yeah, I'm saying you're gonna do the patriotic thing.
Yeah,
because you need to help America be more like America. And then if you got to pick between your family and some white family, you're probably helping America by making the black family survive.
Yeah, that's right.
It's about how you see some things and looking at the real deal of things. But let me read this by Elder Blood because I got two more guests that still need to get in. Shout out to Elder Blood. He says, real talk, FBA's so-called patriotism to America is tantamount to everybody else paying taxes. Think about it. And its correlations, divestors included. Well, and that's why I'm saying, y'all, it's about our view of what patriotism is, not America's view. Because if you look at America's view, you're never going to get right. Because America hasn't had leadership to put us right. And that's just keeping it real.
Hey, Roger, for the record, brother, if you and me are on the boat and we see that Lily white family in the way, I'm going to tell you, you go push them down. I'm going to push them down. We getting on the boat. I know I don't like you, Roger, and you don't like me, but we both get on that boat. We just going to have to fight on the boat.
No. The thing is, bro, the thing is, I accepted that would be the patriotic thing to do.
That's the patriotic thing to do.
Because if you got to pick a black family between a white family,
so what is like some little pretty Latina lady on the boat?
Where you going to get these patriotic fists of justice?
Well, before you go in that direction, that's what I was going to say. If you let the white family survive, we might raise up another Dylan Roof. The patriotic thing to do.
We push them out the way.
If you got to pick between black and white, you're probably going to get a better outcome if you go with black. And that's just what America's records show.
Me and Roger are pushing them out the way, brother.
Yes.
It don't matter. We pushing them out the way.
Well, my thing is to be a patriot, I got to do what's best for America. So if I let a white family survive versus a black family survive, what's probably better for America? You don't know particularly the outcome of any particular family, but what's probably better for America is that white family don't survive, just based on history. Now, shout out to Great Black Reset. He says, Black Uru, the reluctant patriot. Now, y'all, let me let these other guys get in.
You ain't right for that, Reset. You ain't right.
Oh, dang, we done lost him. No, he back. True Teller, I ain't skipping you. Red Pill Sleeper said was up here first. He got knocked off. And he's back. He just changed the account. That's why I didn't see him. So go ahead. Well, you got Lewis up there. So go ahead, Lewis.
Hey, what's up, panel? What's up, chat? Roger. Like the other person before me said, you're just being patriotic to yourself. Like, look, I did 10 years in the United States Marine Corps. I utilized Simplify. That me being in the Marine Corps has provided me an unlimited wealth of network that helped make me successful to what I am today. Just like if somebody's in a fraternity, they're part of a Mason Lodge or any other society, you use these things to your advantage to make yourself better. And Roger, I think you're onto something. From now on, when like especially say you won't help a homeless black woman, you should say that's being patriotic.
I can appreciate that. And I think
Message.
that is being very patriotic. I definitely agree with that. It's a very patriotic thing to do. You know, real
And
talk.
you know, and when we ostracize the miscreants of our society, we're just being patriotic.
All right. Well said, brother. Well said.
Hey, Roger.
Hold on. I got three people I got two more people who still need to get in. Truth Teller got to get in, and I got Inspired Truth in the back. I'm a dip out. Y'all, we'll rotate from time to time, so don't nobody.
Well, you don't have to dip out, right? I'm gonna just be quick and then I'm gonna drop. So Inspired Truth could.
You ain't got to do all that, brother.
I'm short on time. I'm short on time.
Oh,
anyway,
well, that's
so
different. That's different.
Yeah.
All right, well, go ahead. You got the flow.
I just wanted to open it up to something, and I see where Roger's going with the topic today, and I think we should probably pay more attention to what the responses have been to it. Right, our idea of patriotism. I don't know if y'all noticed, but based on our responses, our idea of patriotism is quite different than them other folk that's also people or members of this nation. Because their idea of patriotism is what Roger's trying to suggest for FBA people. But our idea of patriotism is what they trained us to believe these last number of centuries. So it really shouldn't be the idea of patriotism and what we've done with it. It really should be the idea of patriotism and how it can help us move forward, right? And I put a comment in the comment section saying we're gonna have to really deal with our morality and the system of our morality as well. Because if you help the devil to his benefit, does that mean you ain't gonna get punished by God too? And that's one of our biggest problems, because people can't get past that. But them folk can get past that real easy. So we're gonna have to take a peek at ourselves and identify how we can move forward. That's it for me, y'all. Have a good talk. I'll be listening.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. You know what I'm talking about. And shout out to Afro Merchant. He says, I'll keep saying it. Roger really don't like keeping channels. And what the Great Black Reset said, long live the habitual line. Well, long live the habitual patriots. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Hey, man, I ain't trying to be provocative. I'm just trying to have some thoughts on the subject. That's all I'm doing. That's
You're not supposed
all
to have
I'm
no
doing.
thoughts like that, Roger. That's your problem. That's how you keep
Yeah.
losing your channels. You
Hey, Roger.
damn time.
Roger.
I'm just trying to put on a good show. That's all I'm
Hey,
doing.
Roger. I think you display your patriotism every time you drop us from the panel, bro. I'm saying you drop me, you drop. You've displayed a lot of patriotism along the way, brother. I'm glad you acknowledging how patriotic you are,
brother.
brother. Yeah.
I do what I can, brother. I do what I
Hey,
can.
Rod, I'm gonna go ahead and drop down because I gotta get ready to head on out, get ready for class. But hey, this is a very good subject and everything else. So keep up the good work, brother.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you next time.
Well, you
Take care,
take it
brother.
easy, brother, and you just watch the replay when you get a chance. Watch the rest on the
All right,
replay.
champ.
I will.
All right, champ.
Thank you.
All right, champ.
All right, Inspired Truth Broadcast. You have the mic, my brother.
Most excellent. Am I coming in loud and clear first and
Yes,
foremost?
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So peace to you, Raj. Peace to the panel, and peace to all the folk on the chat. A special thank you to all the folks all the service members that came on and joined the panel, and thank you for your service, most definitely. I think that when it comes down to it, we don't really have to redefine patriotism at all. Like we, at anything, just need to redirect what the object is, what the object of that patriotism is. I kind of stop and I think back like on like the 1980s and like before that, and when we had like the Soviet Union, like you had Latvia that was in the Soviet Union, you had Estonia that was in the Soviet Union. Like what we actually have is we have patriotism to Black America. That's what our patriotism is, and then we have the side effect of that patriotism that goes to America as a whole. So that's what we're actually witnessing. It doesn't necessarily require a redefinition of terms. And our allegiance is to Black America. And we need to actually kind of come to terms with that. And we have our position in the grander superstructure that we have to deal with. But I think that what we're going to have to do going forward is we have a vested interest in America, like we're pot committed, is what they would call it in poker if we were playing like Texas Hold'em or whatever. We're pot committed in America, so we have our American interests, but we also need to try to start developing some interests outside of America, and we need to have some fallback positions as well to put ourselves in the best possible place moving forward. And that's what I have to say. Hopefully that came across and y'all got that.
Hey, I think it was well said. Real talk. I think it was
I think both you, Inspired, and Truth Teller made some very important points. Truth Teller aptly made the distinction between what other people get from being patriots and what Black people get from being patriots. Now, it's very clear what other people get from being, quote, patriots. It's very clear. They get wealth, they get fame, they get status, they get power, they get dominion. Being, if you're a certain person, being a patriot comes with a lot of goodies. Well, what's the value add for Black men to be patriotic? What do you actually get out of it? Really? What do you actually get out of it?
To life.
What'd you say?
I said a rope and 25 to life.
Well, look, we may not get all of that we want out of it. I mean, that's life in general. Okay. We have to accept it for what it is, man. But how much work are we putting into what we're trying to, our direction? And then, I mean, to each individual, you will define what that is, what that looks like, man. And that's all we can do as far as that goes, man. I mean, I get where you're coming from.
Go, Pete. I don't begrudge any brother. I do not begrudge any brother joining the military and reaping the maximum benefit from doing such. This is not a critique of the military and military service. And to me, if there is truly a patriotic person, it is somebody who has served in the military. Because the truth of the matter is, yeah, I can respect, you do some advocacy and do some other things. And Roger mentioned having a channel. There's a whole other thing than being a part of some outfit where you might actually be put in a position where there's some reasonable probability of your being maimed and killed. To me, there is no greater call to patriotism than being put in that position. Period. So I'm not at all begrudging the service that you and other black men. It's honored. It should be historically honored. Never forget the Massachusetts 54th. All that good stuff. I'm not making any sort of critique of military service. But this notion of patriotism is a different kind of thing, particularly in this intangible sort of view or some fantasy of what America is supposed to be that it's never been, that has never really gotten close to actually really being. It's just changed from one form of shit to another to accommodate the interests of that same small or that same group of Caucasian people, generally. So,
Well, I don't think.
for that reason, I can't do much with this whole notion of celebration and appreciation of country in light of that. Friends, family, community, network, etc. Sure, love, brace, and protect them. But this notion of patriotism with respect to a country, this so-called United States of America, I don't see the actual tangible benefit of feeling that way or believing that for the benefit of Black American men, particularly FBA men. And that's a historical perspective.
I would say I don't take it like you're being disparaging military. I don't take that at all. Like, just speaking personally, I can't speak for anybody else on the panel, but personally, I don't take it like you're disparaging military or anything like that. Okay, I acknowledge.
Okay, I appreciate
what your position is and where you're coming from. I mean, when I listen to you, it sounds like fight the power,
Yeah, there's some of that. There's a lot of that.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Let me say shout out to Officer Fran Schmitz. He says Black women and white men use mind games with patriotism, quote unquote, and pro-black, quote unquote. Black men so confused, lined up in pro or against each turn, fighting against self, royally confused. Now, I'm gonna say this: I accept everybody's viewpoint because I said this is about our view of patriotism. And sometimes a black man is gonna come to the conclusion the best and most patriotic thing I can do is to simply leave this country because I don't love it at all. I ain't got no issue with that. If that's the conclusion he came to, safe travels, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm not saying that as a diss. I'm saying if you look at the history of America, I cannot be surprised a black man will come to that conclusion. Okay? Now, somebody who says, well, you have to join the military to be a patriot, I just think they don't know what a patriot is. That's how I'm gonna see it. Now, can you join the military because you're a patriot? Absolutely you can. But it's not necessary for you to be that quote unquote patriot idea. You don't have to have that patriot idea to join the military. And again, I'm gonna say, based on my research, most black men I know of who joined the military, they did it to provide for their families. That's real talk. It wasn't about America. They did it to provide for their family. And I think that was a great thing. And I'm going to thank every black person who's ever been in the military for being there, because the military would be far worse if y'all wasn't there. That I know enough about the country to know if y'all weren't there, that our military would be way worse than what it is now. So shout out to everybody, every black man who's ever joined, period. Okay? That's real talk.
I'm with you on that, Roger. Hey, you don't have to join the military. And as I said a while ago, a lot of us don't go in the military because you go in young. You go in the military 17, 18. You ain't thinking about, I'm so patriotic, I'm going to join and do for. No, you thinking, I got to get out of a situation. I'm being forced into this because of this situation, or I want to take care of my family and or start my own life. I don't even have a family yet. I'm going to get away from family.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how that goes.
But a lot of y'all, because you were there, you changed the course of history,
right?
And you stopped nonsense from going afoot, because it's been black men in multiple areas that have denied orders because they knew better. And what if none of y'all were there to do that?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I can't depend on the white guys to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, if y'all weren't there, the military would be far worse than what it is. And that's just real talk. And my thing is, your patriotism is about love for your country. However you display love for your country, I'm with that. And because black men are the most righteous men in the country, we need to make sure, if we love the country, we make sure we shape this country to be more like us. Because I understand exactly what Black Rule was saying. And there's a famous clip on Kobe where he said, job's not finished. We just ain't got to the championship yet. That don't mean we'll never get there. We just ain't got there yet. And that's how I look at it.
Well, I don't know if we necessarily have love for the country. We just have love for our direction when it comes to our family. I would say brothers are the most patriotic when it comes to being in this country because of what we've done and what we've achieved, whether we are military or not. We have been that. Okay.
I mean, let's keep it a buck. Even
I say
the ones
something
that
right
went
quick?
through. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll get into after you.
Yeah, okay.
You got 75 people watching and only 55 likes. Can we please hit the like button? Those that did not hit the like button, you're unpatriotic. This is the most patriotic show on YouTube. So please hit the like button, like, share, subscribe, and please donate. Thank you.
Now that's
Be a
the kind of
patriot.
patriotism I can sign off on.
Right. We can all sign off on that, man. Y'all some busters. Hit that like button, man.
Okay. Jay Moore was trying to get in. Jay Moore go. Then I think Inspired Troop was trying to get in. Let's get Inspired Troop after Jay Moore.
I was gonna say, don't forget the other type of patriot. I said patriots, but both patriarchs and patriotism is to the black people that went through freaking slavery, went through even Jim Crow and being lynched, like Tulsa. Like what happened with Tulsa? What happened in the what's it called, Philadelphia, getting bombed and everything like that too? Those guys were patriots. They didn't serve. I mean, a lot of them did serve, but you know what I'm saying? They didn't even serve either, and yet they getting killed for trying to make their lives better in this hellhole. So we need to call it out. It's not just, like we said before, it's not just military service, but it's just living in black. Like I forgot who said it on this channel that I heard it from. The hardest job in America is being a black man in America. So a lot of us are patriots, both patriotic and patriarchs.
Absolutely. And I'm going to just slip in real quick just because I'm the host and I can do that. Shout out to Robert Smith. One of the most patriotic acts I've ever seen was him go to Morehouse and say, I'm going to pay off this class's tuition, your school loans. That was extremely patriotic. He went specifically to where a group of black men would be who's doing what they got to do to better themselves. And he said, I'm going to make the country better because you know what? Y'all keep for y'all youthfulness. I don't even want you to come out into the world under no great stress. Come on out here with your degrees and don't worry about them school loans. I got it. That's extremely patriotic. You don't think about it that way, but he is literally taking action to make the country better. That's patriotic. Inspired Troop, go ahead, brother.
All right. So I was going to kind of like...
And for his patriotism, his country audited him and destroyed his opportunity for earning tens of billions of dollars.
Almost gave him 25 to life for a rope.
It came after his mentor too, like just the person that put him on. They came after that. But anyhow,
so for that great patriotism you described, Roger, he almost lost everything for that patriotism.
I have to accept the country ain't good enough, and you just gave a great example of how the country ain't good enough. So it's our fight to make it what it needs to be, because ain't nobody else gonna do it. But you're right.
Inspired Truth, you saying something, brother?
Oh yeah. I was kind of like slightly agreeing with Roger on the point of there is some value in planting trees that for which the shade we will never enjoy. So that's true. But on the other hand, we don't want to necessarily frame our patriotism around that. I still think that our patriotism still has to go to Black America, the people that are with us today, right now, here in the here and now. I don't want it like to seem too much like the analogy of the orbiter guy, like, oh yeah, I'll be with that chick one day while you're watching everybody else smash. It sounds too much of a wishful thinking sometimes. So I think I like the perspective of keeping it all in the here and now.
Hey, Roger, I have two things. The first thing is one of the comments in the chat says, so black
You
men
stay fiddling with stuff you ain't supposed to fiddle with, but go ahead, brother. Go ahead. But what comment we talking about so I can at least highlight it?
He says, so black men still trying to save
Wait a minute.
America.
Who highlight? We told who
Oh,
we
one infinite observer. One infinite observer. He says, so black men still trying to save America. And I just wanted to say, look, we've been saving America, man.
You ain't even read the whole thing. You ain't even read the whole thing.
Okay, he says, so black men still trying to save America from itself. That's what I said, Roger.
Oh, okay, my bad.
And I was saying that we've been saving America. You know, we are the foundation of it. It'll fall apart without us. We are every bit of the savior of America, whether people admit it or not, accept it or not. We've been that. The other part, Roger, I just want to ask the question, brother. Maybe I missed something here. Your thumbnail has Beyonce and Cowboy Carter. Can you explain? Maybe I'm missing something here.
Riding on a white horse.
Yeah.
What's that supposed to symbolize right there?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I would love to take responsibility for this, but Compassion Cats picked this one.
No, Roger, you're the captain of the ship, brother.
I think that's sir. I think that image very aptly describes that image very aptly describes the folly of patriotism. That image describes the folly of patriotism right there. That is all the irony and the conflicts that it communicates. That's a perfect symbol of my argument that I present here today.
Let me just say this real quick. Because I don't want it to come off as I'm throwing Compassion Cats under the bus.
You did, Roger.
No. The thing was, I just didn't honestly know the answer because I never asked him. That's all. I just didn't honestly know what the answer was.
Roger. Hey, that's very. What's the root word when Jay Moore was speaking? He kept saying patriarchy and patriotism. So the root word of these things is they're what, men, right? Am I correct?
We have to look
maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know, but it stands to reason to me. That stands to reason to me. That we look that up, but that stands to reason.
We're looking at
that background, that thumbnail is very interesting. What you just said, Ubu. Yeah, that does make sense.
But we gonna blame this on Roger.
Blonde hair.
We blaming this on Roger. Roger.
Brother, I stand behind it because when he picks something, I pick something. I think both of them. I think we do a great job. So
Roger, you did this.
No, I mean, let's be honest. Honestly, I think this is a good background for what's the conversation because it shows some fallacy in what we're talking about.
I think Compassionate very aptly, he's kind of slick with that image. I think he very aptly described the folly of the notion of patriotism. I think that image is as much a critique of the whole notion or fallacy of American patriotism as you can have. That image right there.
And she's on backwards.
And I'm gonna say, because we talked a little bit about
reverse cowboy, a cowgirl.
Well, I mean, we talked a little bit about it, and I was like, is there really an image of Black patriotism? is there really an image out there of FBA patriotism? Like, for real, is this a notion amongst American people? I'm not saying ain't nobody ever brought it up and said something about it, but collectively, I don't even think this is a real notion amongst American people to think about Black patriotism and what that would actually mean. And people just, well, y'all should just think the way we do. Yeah, us, the terrible people who took over lands, who crashed in on some people's stuff, who made people promises, then locked them up and killed them. No, that's not my ideal of patriotism. That's maybe yours, but it definitely ain't mine. So, but I didn't ask to get a clarification. Y'all, sometimes it's just better to say I don't know.
So
now, I would like to take credit
that
for it, but
is missing.
I just don't know.
So engaging in patriotism is for lack of words, a bitch. Right?
I'm gonna say if you as a Black man engage in their form of patriotism, I can see how that's easily arrived to.
Yeah, well,
I can say that.
Hey, I don't know. I'm not trying
on that.
I'm not trying to throw this off track or nothing, but again, I'm just trying to hit on this tax or whatever. Can women, or especially Black, can they even be patriotic?
Absolutely. You marry a good Black man, you're extremely patriotic.
But not by
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask this question. For the purposes of white men, who has been more patriotic than Black women?
That's damn, Black.
You got us there, huh?
That's a hell of a question.
Well, you have to take something out of a Black woman's mouth to get the real answer.
Yeah,
I'm amazed that here we are in Black History Month and we don't see more imagery of it.
They have largely been a tool to affect and maintain the supremacy of white men on this in this country. So they're very patriotic.
You can't dispute that. I mean,
we should see more Black patriotism. Like, and it's Black History Month, so we should be inundated with examples of positive Black patriotism right now.
Well,
that's February.
That's a cold game, man. That's some cold game that we arrived to this part of the conversation. Man,
I think it was inevitable.
But where a lot of our patriots are.
Even this image will stir in white men some combination of the feelings of hatred and masturbation.
Dang, Guru.
I am certain of that. I'm certain of that.
So you saying they're going to be masturbating off this video?
And hating at the same time.
No, they're going to be hate masturbating.
In a state of fury while doing it.
Oh, dang, Roger, you catching all that work, man.
Oh yeah.
I ain't worried about it.
They're gonna have the video.
That is why they created that's why they did this image. They know that. And we're talking about Texan. We're talking about white Texan. So it's a lot of stuff going on in the heads of the white guys when they see that image.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of wild shit going on in there.
With that flowing blonde hair or white hair,
whatever. On a white horse, on a white horse holding an American flag.
Hey, Roger.
White horse hair.
They're gonna be watching your video, going hard, mad at you, brother. Yeah, they're gonna put it on mute and just go out.
Hey man, that's the price you gotta pay sometimes.
That's the price you gotta pay.
It is what it is.
That's some patriotism for you, huh, bro?
My job is to make the country better regardless of their feelings.
Hey, man. Hey,
because I'm gonna say I'm a patriot. Everything I know about me and what patriotism is and loving my country, it is my job to make it better. It's the same way when you have a child. Your child is just not gonna naturally grow up being a good person. You have to steer your child to be better. You got to steer your child to move toward the right ideas, the right directions. You got to give your child guidelines so when you're not around anymore, they still know how to stick to the right places. If I don't love America, I wouldn't attempt to make America better. And that's I don't even see it as a. Go ahead.
When I ran for office, I realized I ran for office 2 times, and I realized the fundamental mistake I made was I put the interests of the community and people above my own interests. Had I flipped that and put my interest above that of the people, or put my interest first and foremost of that over and above the interest of the people, I likely would have gotten away.
Yeah, but the thing is that the real
That's
patriotic
how
thing
the
to do?
political system works in the United States of America. There is no idea. There is no great idea about America. Not really. Not especially not amongst the people who actually achieve and retain power. To them, America is a tool towards to affect other interests.
Hey, Uru, I wanted to. Okay, I know you got to read the comment.
Yeah, this is a short one. It's a short one. Let me
I got a
start
question
knocking
for
out. Shout out to Bad Black Gang. He said black women being more. I think he meant to say patriotic. Said Uru, me, damn, in my Florida Evans voice. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Uru, I got a question for you, brother. What made you run for office twice?
Well, I foolishly was trying to save the community. I was trying to save the community. I was trying to save the school system, and I wasted a lot of time and a lot of money in that effort. And I saw people who were less talented. I saw people who were less talented than myself, less capable, less committed, ascend to and retain office. Some of them are still in office to this day. And when I look at them, when I encounter them, I look at them, they like, yeah, your ass probably should have got in here. But hey, that's America.
Yeah.
So, America don't give a damn about patriotism. America only cares about power, interest, and money and influence. That's America, baby.
And see, and that's why I say to be a true black man and a patriot at the same time, you got to figure out ways to make America bend towards you. We know what it is. If you fully agree with what America is, I don't know, it smells funny to me. My job is to make America bend toward me, because I'm the best America got to offer. And I'm not saying me personally, I'm just saying us as FBA men, and even the foreign men who are black, who kind of move more like us. It's our job to make America more like us. That's having love for the country. That's the way I see it. And shout out to my main man, Ryan Decipher. He said, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it documented that black women erase black fetuses at the tune of 60 million since the mid-60s? You can't get more patriotic than that. That's G.I. Joe level patriotism. Well, if you see white men as the way to go, I'm going to say yes. That's definitely great patriotism. If you believe, if you like the country like it is now, I'm saying, yeah, you would be a patriot. See, the question is, how do you want the country to be? And I think America's biggest problem is just ain't enough like me. If it was more like me, a lot of its problems wouldn't even exist. So as a person who loves my country, I need to do things that's going to make America be more like me. And right now, my goal is to influence the people. If I can influence enough people, I have enough people in the right places to help turn the country over to being more like me. And I'm not saying Roger, I'm saying me as an FBA black man. Because clearly there's no better people in this country than us. And that's based on data. All right. And shout out to Bad Black Gamer. He says, why you mad at Boy, you niggas sometimes. You niggas sometimes. You niggas sometimes.
Uru, you mad at Obama? You mad at Obama, Uru?
All right, let me read it. Shout out to Bad Black Game. He said, "Why you mad at Obama?" Uru?
I wish I lost to someone of the caliber of Barack Obama. I wish I did, because it's one thing to lose. Plus, it's another thing to lose to people who are a lot less capable than you are. I would consider that to have been an honorable defeat if it would have been to somebody of a caliber of Barack Obama.
Nah, Uru, man. Apparently they was capable because they won. They won.
Nah, you ain't got to be good to win in politics.
I'm saying in terms of performing what was necessary for the benefit of the community. Yeah, they were capable of getting elected. A damn monkey is capable of getting elected if enough people vote for it. That don't mean that monkey is capable of actually leading the community.
Uru, you got beat by Obama lookalike. That's
got beat by Obama light.
Yeah, Obama light.
But I mean,
I'll tease you, Obama.
As a country, we ain't the best voters. You know what I'm saying? We got to recognize that, because it's far too many people who complain about the people that they elected. When I ask why did you fight to get them elected, they don't really have good answers. So, as voters, we ain't the brightest folk, and that's just real talk. When you get exactly what you want and you still hate it, that's a you thing. That's I done had to come to terms with that years ago. But my politicians don't really get elected no way, because I vote for people that are better for the country. Not a better Republican, not a better Democrat. Two parties that have done horrible jobs since I've been alive. Okay, I'd take anybody other than them, and that's real talk, because I can't do worse than them. And they've proven that.
I got to interrogate this argument of patriotism, because if you can't get the people who you actually think should run the country to run the country, then what are you doing?
My love for the country is making the effort for the right things to happen. It's not to control what the country is.
Oh,
it's
you mean John Henry? You mean John Henry?
No, not John Henry.
You fight and you whatever, you make this grand effort until your heart explodes, and then they replace you with a machine going forward, and so everything you basically sacrificed was don't really matter.
Roger voted for Tiffany Henyard. Ain't he in Chicago? You in Chicago?
Don't put that one on me. That's notorious. I know we kid each other, but that feel like a low blow.
You did that, Roger.
That feel like a low blow right there. I want y'all to pay attention to those who's going under the belt now, y'all.
And that in your patriotic American system.
That's what I was going to say. She's a patriot, right?
Yeah, you real patriotic.
That who gets elected in office in the patriotic United States of America.
Hey, Uru.
Hold on, real before you say it, let me just say shout out to the city of Dalton. Not Chicago. Shout out to the city of Dalton.
No, Roger, that's Chicago, brother. You did that.
Because didn't your mayor go down there and fight for her?
And Thornton Township, because she was both the president of Dalton and the supervisor of Thornton Township at the same time.
Yeah, shout out to Chicago and Roger. Shout out to Roger.
Well, I know people from both of those areas. I say that I do know people from both of those areas, but shout out to them. I wasn't able to. Not that my mayor is much better, but I just say that for the record, I wasn't able to make that vote for her.
You did that, Roger. Just say you did it, man.
Well, shout out to Elder Blood one more again. He says Roger's picture for the show today inadvertently proves 100% truth and efficiency of black women and white men's new world order, by which black men call white supremacy. And I can 100% agree with that. You know, I'm gonna say shout out to Compassion Catalyst. This was a great picture because we definitely had a conversation about what the idea is, and I ain't gonna get into all that because it was technically a private conversation. But pulling this one out was just a great piece of work, real talk. But Jay Moore, you was trying to get in. Go ahead, my brother.
I was gonna ask Uru, what was the name of that mayor, the black mayor that was on crack that was doing so well as a mayor, but they still voted him out?
That was what's his name? And dang,
my hair Washington.
DC.
Barry.
Marion Barry.
Yeah.
You see, I would rather have a crackheaded black man back in office than deal with that chick.
Yeah,
and this is what America does. They wouldn't even let the crackhead stay in there that was doing well.
Afro Merchant said that.
Well,
Tiffany
no,
Henry
what they did to Marion Barry, he was about his people. So what they did to him was they put this black woman on him and put some dope in the system to destroy him. He got honeypotted. That's what happened to Marion Barry. He was too much about his people. He had a weakness for light-skinned women, that type of shit, and he got taken out with that shit. We only as strong as we are. We only as strong as our weakest link.
Yeah, and we got to remember, y'all, you can't sleep next to these hoes, man. Real talk. Okay, if you a black man in power, don't sleep next to these hoes. If you gonna do something, do what you do and get away from them. Don't sleep next to them.
He was in Washington D.C. He did as much as he can for his people as anybody who's ever been mayor in any major metropolitan area in this country, and they destroyed him for it. They destroyed him for it. That's what your patriotism gets you, Roger.
Yeah, Roger voting for Tiffany Henry.
Man, I can accept a lot, y'all. I can accept a lot, and I don't get sensitive about jokes. Okay, but saying that I voted for Tiffany here, that might just be a little too low than even I can accept.
You trying to say I'm starting to fight with
real talk? I'm just saying I done been accused of a lot worse things than voting for Tiffany Henry. That's what I'm saying.
Just accept it, bro. Just accept it. You in Chicago, you did it.
Man, you can accuse me of way worse stuff. I mean, stuff that people would think. I mean, a person tried to imply, that's what I believe she was trying to imply. I told you when I was in high school, this young lady tried to imply, it probably was a sexual assault or something. She was like, why you do that to me? Why you do that? Why would you yell at me, something like that across the lunchroom? So I'm taking that you was trying to imply something sexual going on. And I'm saying that happened, and you got the nerve to hit me below that by saying I voted for Tiffany Henry. That's how I'm saying Tiffany Henry.
Hey, you
that's
talking
below
about
that.
me? No, Roger, you talking about me? But Afro Merchant said that's your babe, brother. Now, what you ain't telling us, man?
Well, okay, but let's be honest. Up until her shenanigans had been publicly revealed, she was a very, very, very popular politician in the Chicagoland area. She might have actually been able to make a damn Senate run or some shit. Had some of her shit not gotten exploded.
Hey, Uru.
She was very popular.
Chicago too.
And a lot of hardworking people. I know people in the Dalton in the Thornton Township area. A lot of hardworking people supported her before her stuff got revealed.
Hey, Black Guru, you in Chicago too, sir.
So now you're gonna accuse him of the same thing.
Go, P, you're going too far now.
All Chicagoans we did today, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not in they city limits, y'all. I'm in actual. I know a lot of people say they from Chicago and don't be from. I'm actually in Chicago, so all that other stuff. I got no problem with my own mayor. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to
the only thing that's worse. The only thing that's worse than a corrupt politician. The rest of the American citizens. The rest of American citizenry. Most of y'all ain't worth a damn.
Well,
and as much as I might have a problem, with Hillary and what she did, She did it in large part because most people were okay with being ignorant and lazy with respect to their community and their government. And that's not just the people of Dalton and of the Thornton Township. That just went public related to her and those particular communities. But that's all over the Chicagoland area, all over the state, all over the country. The only difference between Tiffany and the rest of them is her shit went public because she was too damn audacious about it.
But was she patriotic though?
Well, hold on now. Let me get these super chats in. Shout out to Bad Bad Gamer. He said, "Oh wow." He said they sprinkled some crack on him. R.I.P. man. And you know what? That's how I take it too. That's literally how I take it. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't go to sleep around them. These bras, don't go to sleep around them. Real talk. You know, and they can put all type of stuff in your bloodstream because you done went to sleep next to them. So just if you're gonna play that game, don't sleep around them. And shout out to No Placeholder. He said them red bones are a problem for me too, Uru. Hey, just don't sleep around.
A lot of great black men have been taken down by
a red bone or two. Y'all don't sleep next to her. That's what I'm gonna keep pushing. Don't go to sleep, man. If you're gonna play that game, definitely don't sleep. They can put all type of stuff in your system.
Robbie gonna come in here talking about she sprinkled some crack over you. Like Robert.
And you better believe it when I say it. Don't do like you did the mother one. Yeah.
She sprinkled some crack over me, man. I'm still here doing
what
live.
happened to that brother is what happens when you are a great black patriot. When you're a great black patriot, that's what happens to you in the United States of America.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things I was about to say. All of our great patriots and patriarchs, you know where they're really at? They were all swinging on a tree or getting shot.
Getting shot in the head on a balcony in Memphis, or getting shot up in the bed laying next to their woman and their newborn baby in Chicago.
Or even
that's what happened to the great black patriots.
Yeah, or all of a sudden you mysteriously have a fire in the car. Can't nobody explain how you got there. You know all that good stuff.
Hey, was Tiffany Henry
and at the very least, sprinkle some crack on them too.
Was she patriotic?
Was who patriotic?
Tiffany Henry.
Well, her version of patriotism, she probably was, because most black women are white supremacists.
Oh.
So she probably was in her version of patriotism. But I'm gonna say, as I said earlier, if your view of patriotism is the white man view of patriotism, you're gonna end up wrong anyway.
Okay. All right. Still doesn't excuse the fact that you voted for. What you do? Sprinkle a little crack on you?
He ain't letting it go.
You gonna vote for me?
I'm just saying, it's a lot of bad rumors that happen to black people. Putting that one on me is low blow. That's all I'm saying, bro.
She sprinkled a little crack on Rogers, and you gonna vote for me?
That's just a little low, bro. That's a little low. You know, black men called gay. You know what I'm saying? Black men always being called a cheat and all kinds of stuff. We people say we're not qualified for our job, but to say that I voted for her, I think you're going beneath all those things. That's what I'm saying.
You still got a little crack on you. You got a little crack on you, brother.
Roger, you know what a lot of us black men go through? You know what we usually get, put on? We always go through a little bit of go pee. Another way of saying it, it's called a golden shower.
I mean, your name is Go P. You can't really say nothing about that, bro.
Hey, man. This is what I go through, man. This is real patriotic, brother. This is real patriotic. I just gotta acknowledge that, brother.
Okay, brother. Okay. Now see, I never thought about your name too much. Now I'm getting you the side eye. I'm just saying.
You give me the side eye, huh?
Yeah. Now I got the side eye. That name comes with a lot of stuff.
Come on, man. You know what? All you guys continue at some point to find some. Well, except Gold P. That's what I usually get, man. You y'all usually say at some point somebody said except for Gold P. I'll rock with y'all, man. Like, man, what the
Hey,
problem
man,
is?
it's like the Five Heartbeats said. I ain't got nothing but love for you, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Hey.
I ain't got nothing but love for you.
Okay.
You know, Roger, that sounds like, you know, an old person say, I pray for you.
Right. God be well with you.
I'm trying to be politically correct right now. That's all. I'm trying to be politically correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I
no,
got
you
it.
good people, Gold P. You good people. You know?
Yeah, okay.
But
Okay.
once we get into the round table, now I'm gonna have to ask where you get that name from. That's
See what I'm talking about?
no, I'm just messing with you, bro.
Nah, anyway.
Well, no, I do honestly think though, we as black men, we need to really start thinking about what does patriotism mean to me, and stop looking at so much of what it should mean based on some white people's definition who have a bad reputation of running the country in the first place. Because let's keep it real. I mean, America did become a superpower. We can't say it didn't. A lot of that was because of what they was able to do due to the slave trade. So they even got in position of being a superpower from a bad context. A lot of people who live outside the country can't stand America because America has done certain things in their country that they didn't approve of. And my thing is, it is what it is. That's why I never have an issue with people's narrative against America. You was over there when such and such went down. How can I say you wrong based on what your viewpoint of what happened to your country? It's not people saying, you know, America came over friendly to do X, Y, Z. No, America did all kinds of bogus stuff in these other countries. And America has made deals, you know, that they've broken with other people. You know, America's a country that's, you know, basically our reputation is we just not a country that keeps our word. We'll make the deal, but as soon as the deal ain't good enough and we figure out something else, we'll shank you on that deal like it's nothing. So I think the only America that you can be patriotic to is the idea and not the country we have today. That's my honest viewpoint. I want that Constitution to be real, but what I got ain't what that Constitution say.
Hey, Rob.
Go ahead, brother.
So are we in the mindset that Marion Barry was patriotic?
I mean, what can you say he did that wasn't patriotic?
Okay, I'm just asking the question. What's all the aggression, brother? I was just asking.
Okay, no. He did what he could to help a brother out. I ain't got no problem with him. He was good to me. And all that drug stuff, yeah, I believe that was put on.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, if you get to a position of power, don't sleep around these people, y'all. I don't care who it is. If you don't know them from back in the day, and you got to watch some of them because, you know, people try to turn people against you. You can't trust all these new people around you. You know, that I said before, let me win the lottery, y'all. There's going to be certain friends I got that I need to be my friend because I don't want these new niggas, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you got to
be like Uncle Russ. Don't trust the new niggas over there. I need to kick it with
niggas.
Yeah, I got to kick with these people I done known for 20, 25, 30. I got to kick it with them. You know what I'm saying? That's just real talk.
You got to read those super chats, right?
Yeah, you know. Well, I guess it's going to wrap the show up. I'll do some final statements after this. But we go to final statements after this. Shout out to Turkish Tyrone. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. He said, brothers, don't let people separate you from the USA. It is anti-black and misandrous, but you are its true patriot. No more limbo while white supremacy who come from the traitors or people fleeing. Stake claim to it, be proud, and SYSBM. Hey, shout out to you, brother. And that's a message I can definitely get behind. I definitely can get behind that. Appreciate you, brother. And shout out to the Great Black Reset. It says, Gold P and didn't even have to travel to Dubai.
Come on, y'all, man. You ain't got to go to Dubai. I'm going to push on you from here.
Yeah, man, I got some questions after the show. I got
Oh,
some questions,
still
man.
you right here, brother.
I ain't gonna lie, brother. I got some questions after the show. I got questions. That's all
Oh,
I'm saying.
still you right here in the United States.
But shout out to the Great Black Reset. On time and on fire. All right. Anyone want to make any closing statements? Well, Gold P, we'll start from your end. We'll work our way down.
Yes, sir.
Any final statement?
Yes, sir. Hey, everybody, hit that like button, support the channel you're on. The Roger Report. Shout out to everybody in the chat and in the clouds. That's it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, y'all. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. If you like the I'm talking about, you ain't gonna get better content nowhere else. You can look. You ain't gonna find it. Black Uru, any final statement you want to make before the show closes out?
Yeah, look, I've said a lot. I've been sort of a polemic, I guess, of the argument of patriotism. I don't really see any actual real value to it, including and especially for Black men. I think you do the best you can for yourself, for your family, for people for whom you derive some mutual benefit. If there's some part of America you must participate in because it facilitates your interests and your family interests, do the best you can with it. But don't establish, I would recommend you not establish or maintain any sort of intangible goodwill for the country itself beyond what you stand to actually derive in the terms of mutual benefit from it. I think it's been a form of delusion for us to think and feel anything other for this country than that.
All right, shout out to you. And shout out to Afro Merchant. He said, salute to Black Uru, one of the most important voices in this space and Black America, a great patriot, hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. You know, Afro Merchant, I can feel a little bit better because once you said that, what'd you say, something about Tiffany Henry being my boo, I can feel a little bit better about that statement right there. Okay. J-Do, before you go, J-Do, shout out to No Placeholder. He says Gold P got his name from Garden Fort Knox. Okay, and you know what? I definitely got some questions once we get out there. You know what I'm saying? And the seeing that he is a military man, I don't know that he can serve in Dubai. He could have been over there. I don't know. Military go to all kinds of places and don't check in with me. So, I got questions once we get out there. I got questions. J-Do, you got it, brother.
They on your neck, Gold P. They on your neck, brother. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having me, Roger. A great topic, and I think Black men should ponder this subject, and I appreciate you having me up. Thanks.
I appreciate you, brother. Jay Moore, you got it. Any last words?
Shoot. Basically, everybody, I say do what like Black Uru is saying, and also what Nameless Protagonist saying. Be political Mandalorians and do what you gotta do for you, especially in this country. But at the same time, have a lifeboat and a life vest and watch out for Gold P. You know what I'm saying?
I'm picking on all y'all, man.
My man. Can we get through the closing statements?
Man, go ahead.
Lewis, any final statement before we close out?
Be good to others, but first and foremost, be good to yourself first.
Hey, respect. All right, niggas love America. Any last input before we close it out?
Man, don't put too.
Use this bitch for whatever you can get out of it. Extract as much value as you can out of it. And then get ready. Get ready to dip out at any given moment, because it is also a strong possibility that, that it might collapse. We don't know. So get ready. Don't worry about this patriotic thing, because
the people who are telling you to be patriotic, they have multiple passports, multiple citizenship, and also they have bunkers in other countries. And then, since you can no longer be a slave, You can't just be a patriotic nigga. Put your ass out. All right.
Powerful words, brother. Powerful words. All right, y'all. It's been another great one over here at the Roger Report Live. If you don't know, now you know. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hype me up every chance you get. We do this at 9 a.m. Chicago time, not Dalton time, not Thornton Township time, even though that's still a fall in the same timeline. It's Chicago time. Chicago time. We will see y'all next time around. Long live the habitual line steppers. Oh, and matter of fact, y'all, we gon' oh no, matter of fact, we can't do it because Super Bowl Sunday is coming up, so never mind. But we will do a Super Bowl Sunday after show for y'all who don't know. We're gonna have the second annual Super Bowl after show. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger, I'm right, and I'm out.